just to hold me. Could I dream of you? Got to find out you cold. I still want you, made me need you. Make you mine like you cold. Got to have you, 'cause I just can't live without you.
Hey, welcome in. Friday night. Hafeman Bros. Packers aren't here for you anymore, but we're here because the season ended last week. That's why they're not there anymore, but you get the idea. Anyway, we're here to talk about some of the things that happened last week, talk about some of the things that have been happening. Lots of news lately, Ben, some developments. I'm sure people want to talk about that. Let's see what kind of comments we get in the chat, but we have our own agenda of things to get to tonight. We got some topics to touch on and some important ones, and a little bit of myth busting from the previous game, and then some light shedding as well is kind of my plan.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going to shed some light and try to, make a case, but have proof and things that back it up. That most people probably wouldn't have said this or thought this was possible or the truth. But I'm going to show you why it's the truth. Little quarterback comparison tonight.
Whoa.
All right, so how you doing, brother?
I am fine.
We got some people in here. Oh, Ekis is waiting. Sorry, Ekis. Mom and Dad waiting. Zero's hanging around. How you doing? Hey, Zero. And Rick says, let's go. Right on time. Hafeman time. That's right, Rick.
Right. We were here. We were just talking about the game plan. We
had
were here at 8:58, and then we were talking for 10 minutes trying to figure out what the heck was going on.
It was my bad. I was goofing around with my little graphic I had to make up, and my dog kept wanting to play with me, like right as I was trying to do the stuff on the computer. And I'm like, dude, there's 3 other people in this house. Go play with one of them. And she just kept like coming at me. And I was like, I gotta do it. So that's why I was kind of running behind. So I apologize, everybody. Apologies. But at least those of you that know us well understand this is actually on time for Hafeman's, not late.
Yep.
Just so you know. All right, so let's get into it. What do we got to talk about tonight, my brother?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about dumb.
Dumb? I thought we were going to show an awesome play by my favorite guy who's not going to be a Packer anymore. He's probably technically not a Packer anymore.
We're not going to show that yet.
Okay. All right. Because we had people not seeing that play correctly. I don't think so. And we'll get to that later. We have some other things that probably weren't perceived correctly either from the game. Oh, here. I'll put it out to you guys. Who is better to listen to the game with? Hafeman Bros or Buck and Aikman? So I'm starting with the low bar. You can give me that answer if you want to in the chat. You can also stay silent if you think we sucked. But, I thought we were pretty good. We probably should have done that way sooner. And the other thing, Ben, is next time I'll just watch it. I'll get the iPad and I'll watch it on the NFL app or whatever, so we're basically on the same time. But see, I have old school antenna hooked up in my house, so I got the TV signal antenna. I didn't have to wait for it to go through the internet and then come in, so I was ahead of you. But overall, I think it may have helped prepare you for some of the bad things that were going to happen, so you weren't as fired up or angry or yelling.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It made me numb to it, just like Aaron Rodgers
and
Matt LaFleur. They're numb. They're numb to it. They're numb to it. Hey, am I sharing this or what?
Are you? Okay, hang on. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, is it there? Are you seeing it?
I see it now.
Okay, because this new system, I only see what I'm sharing. I don't see you. So
I see it, and we are here too. Let's see what you got. What do you got tonight?
Well, as you see here, this is the field goal. Okay,
I don't want to see this.
But here's something very interesting on this play that I didn't notice the first time. If you look here, we got Tyler Lancaster on this side, right? And over here, you got 84. That's your guy. What's his name again?
Oh, Tyler Davis.
Tyler Davis. So we got the Tylers. We got big body, slow Tyler, and small body.
Thanks, I guess.
More of a blocking guy, Tyler, over here, right?
Yep.
And then I want you to watch what happens. This is just the game feed.
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry, Zero. We didn't mean to ruin it for you, but
okay, here we go. We got a timeout.
Always look away.
Timeout by the 49ers, right, to ice the kicker, right? And we're looking at this, and we're watching it as if it's real time. Probably going to get here, I got to stop it for a second so you can't show the entire thing for too long, or else they demonetize you or shut you down and all this other dumb crap.
Let me just say this real quick. Echo says a comment. We don't like to go after Rodgers. It's just that we're sick of his BS. And, I will also
I like
say,
going after him.
well, fine. I was a huge fan until some of these things got exposed, and he exposed himself. I will call what he's done this year in the media indecent exposure. And because of that, I see the real Aaron Rodgers and too much of him, and that's why I don't like him. But, he did screw up in this game. We'll talk about that a little later too, but that's fine. Anyway, continue on. Mason Crosby, we had that. It seemed dumb. We iced the kicker. Always love that play. Thanks so much, coaches, when you do that. Really stupid, but whatever.
Okay. Now, look what happened. After the timeout, we have 84 over. This Tyler is on this side.
Okay.
And for some reason, Lancaster is over on this side next to Dean Lowry.
Huh.
Why did they switch?
Huh.
I don't know. Also, look at this. This is Yash. This is Lukey Patrick's butt. Yash's butt. Lancaster's butt. Look how tight these guys are together.
That's the way you're supposed to be.
3 guys lined up in front of them, right? Then you got a big gap, Tyler Lancaster and 3 49ers and another guy back here. So apparently, Tyler Lancaster's job on this play is to block 4 guys. I don't blame Tyler Lancaster. I don't think you can. And a lot of people do, and they're like, Tyler Lancaster sucks. Oh, my God, what's going on? Why special teams suck? Why are they doing? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that nobody realizes that there's 7 49ers over here and only 4 over here, yet they have the exact same blocking technique all the way across. Does that make any sense? And why is Tyler Lancaster so far back? Probably because he's worried, I got to block 3 guys on this play. Because he has to block 3 guys on the play. And then we know what happens. But I don't understand the alignment.
Right? It's totally over. Look, and the guys on the other side aren't even coming. Look at them.
No. Well, why would they? They don't need to come. And here, Lancaster's trying to block this guy with this arm, block this guy with this arm. That's the great plan?
Now, okay. So let me just say real quickly about the special teams rules and blocking rules there. Okay, so for all field goal units and punt units and stuff like that, kick units, you're supposed to have tight alignment. You're supposed to not allow people through gaps. You're supposed to almost be on top of each other and then kind of close down. Now, that's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't always work that way. When you practice, it oftentimes works that way because you don't have guys actually coming at you full speed. But that's what you want to do, not allow anyone through a gap, right? In that situation, his responsibility, even though there's a guy on the outside, is he had to collapse down. So that is partly on him because he didn't follow his basic rules. But if you look at it, like you said,
there's also another 49er helmet right here.
Right.
There's 2 guys coming through this gap. There were 3 guys there and 1 man to block him.
Right. No, and I totally get that.
Like, call a timeout and be like, okay, we got to.
We didn't have any left because we burned one.
Okay. Well, still,
we always burn them on like, we didn't get the play in time. We made a big play. Oh wait, we got to call timeout because we're not ready to run our next play, which also happened at the end of the game too, right? Never have any timeouts. We don't have any timeouts because we burn timeouts. Anyway, continue on.
Well, I don't have nothing else to say about it.
It's good. It's good to see this because live you probably didn't see all the stuff that happened or notice all those guys overloaded on that side. And you can see clearly by the 49ers approach here, the guys on the right side of the Packers line, left side of their D line are not even coming. They're not even really trying to come in and make any attempt because they overloaded everybody the other side. Now, you have your base rules. You have to collapse down. You don't allow guys through gaps. And in this case, when you had 3 guys there, you hope if Lancaster collapses down, he at least kind of creates a body clog where those 2 guys can't get through. That guy on the outside is going to be free. He's going to be free. He might have a chance to block it, but you always make the guy go the furthest possible. That's your rule. But if you had an alignment like that, you would think you might want to make an adjustment of some sort.
Well, the other thing
Just a
is,
thought.
I would coach Tyler Lancaster to look at this inside guy. Like if your job is to sort of block both, he's looking at the outside guy. Forget the outside guy.
Yeah. you have to.
Feel him out, and make sure you get a good awareness of where that inside guy is, so you can for sure shove him. Because I bet you Tyler Lancaster, if he'd be looking inside, he could have probably shoved that guy down more and off target.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he'd be looking at him. But he's not. He's looking at the outside guy instead. And that's how he gets through.
Now, Zero's
And then blocks it.
wondering why Mo Drayton is still employed. I mean, I think there's going
I
to be
think
a
a
change
lot of
no matter
people are
what.
wondering that, Zero.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just why did LaFleur stick with him, stick by him the whole year too? Because there were problems, obvious problems,
I don't know.
and they would talk about it like, "Oh, we're going to work on it, and we're going to do," and that's fine. But we all kind of feared what might happen if things didn't get corrected, and the Packers have been. This is the question I raised, right? Because the Packers have been terrible at special teams for a long time. How we've changed coaches, we changed players. We've changed all this stuff, changed head coaches. Because remember, under the McCarthy regime for many years, we had bad special teams. And then now we still have bad special teams with different head coach, different staff, a lot of guys, different special teams coaches. What is it? What's the problem? Why are the Packers so terrible at special teams? I do not understand.
Well, maybe it's the fact that they have 1, 2, 3 defensive tackles out there blocking on a field goal.
You'd think
Why
you
are there
put
3 defensive
offensive linemen, right? Instead would be better.
Well, they had offensive linemen.
I know, but wouldn't you do more? You
I
got
would
more
put
of
all
them.
of the starters at offensive line out there. I don't even care. That their job is to protect people. Like that's what they do.
Yeah.
Tyler Lancaster's job isn't to block anybody. It's to get through blocks. Dean Lowry's job isn't to block anybody. It's to get through guys. And especially on a field goal. On a punt, okay.
Right.
Then guys got to go down and tackle, and I get that a little bit. But when it comes to this, it's almost like, okay, you're a big body. We're going to throw you out there. No. Take every offensive lineman you have. And that's the other problem. They don't have very many offensive linemen because they're all hurt. Right? They had everybody out there. They had Yash out there. They had Royce Newman out there. And they had Lukey Patrick out there. Those were the 3 offensive linemen. So 2 guys who weren't starting and a guy who was starting and Lukey. And nobody else. Because they have nobody else. Because they're all hurt, right? Or whatever. I don't know. And then they got Slayton and they had Lancaster and Lowry. And then that tight end 84. And then the long snapper guy who sucks. Just put all your damn offensive linemen out there on the field goal unit.
That makes total sense. Absolutely. 100%.
They're big bodies. They know how to block. Put your tackles on the outside. Sure, Billy Turner will stand there and patty cake, but at least he knows what he's doing a little bit more than Tyler Lancaster does.
Isn't there another guy who's like a tackle, on the team? Why can't he play special teams?
I don't know.
I mean,
But
come on.
it seems
Matt
dumb to me.
LaFleur said it. We got to get special teams as a priority. We talked about putting some starters on there. That is a perfect question to ask. Why weren't there more offensive linemen in field goal protection? Why? You are not worried about. I mean, I guess you want to have one tight end for the semblance of a fake, but do you really care about? I mean, how often are they going to run a field goal fake? So you're not worried about setting that up. Those guys are not eligible receivers. They are not going to be running downfield. So just put a bunch of offensive linemen in there who know how to block and take up space. That makes total sense because, like you said, you're not going to have anybody worrying about covering kicks or covering punts or covering the whatever it is. You're trying to block so you can get your kickoff and get it made. So excellent point. Good question for the head coach. Nobody in the Green Bay media asked it. They should have. Done. What else you got? Eckes points out we haven't had good special teams since we lost Jervy. That's not true, Eckes. We had good special teams, at least returning, when we had Randall Cobb returning for a little bit when he was young. And then also Micah Hyde, one of the best punt returners the Packers have had in the last 20 years. Micah Hyde was awesome punt returner. So I think it is, well, you pointed this out the other day. We mentioned it. We talked about it. And you said, so all right, let's look at this, right? Who plays on special teams most of the time on other teams? Who are the special teams guys?
I don't know.
They're generally not starters. Now, admittedly, all of the players, when they get to the NFL, they didn't play special teams in college, right? These are all guys that were like stars on their team, right? Starters on their team. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the NFL. So they have to kind of relearn. And also, they probably didn't play special teams in high school. And they probably just haven't played much special teams. So they have to learn how to do it. So you need people to teach them the rules and teach them the techniques and teach them how to do it, number one. Number two, you have to practice it. And then number three, you have to have guys that are good athletes on special teams for coverage units for sure, right? Blocking is blocking. Coverage units is something different. Returners have to be good athletes. That's what we know. Now, the Packers generally don't have the same sort of impact from their early draft picks or even some of the guys they try to choose to be starters. So like you pointed out, they have all these undrafted guys or low round picks that end up starting for them, guys they picked off the scrap heap that end up being starters for them. And in traditional teams or a lot of teams, you would have guys that are higher picks starting for you. And then your lower picks, you can take guys, or you can maybe find that free agent guy who's really more of a special teams guy, not a fill a spot in your defense or offense guy, or add competition to a unit kind of guy. And then you use those guys to boost up your special teams. But that's not what happens a lot of times for this team. So they have all these, and Ben raised that point to me the other day, they have all these undrafted guys starting for them. And then a lot of teams don't want to play their starters on special teams, even though the Packers did some of that with some guys like Rasul Douglas. But I think that's part of the problem. It certainly can't be all of the problem, right? Part of it has to be coaching, but part of it has to be the personnel they're getting or the players that they have on the team that they then have to utilize in special teams. So I don't know. Ben, I don't know what happened. You just left. Hopefully you come back because I know you got a bunch more, but I can get into it. Oh, he's come back. He's come back. There he is. But anyway, the point is, yep, I got you.
My videos were not working, so it was making me mad.
Oh, were you doing more videos?
I wanted to, but it wasn't loading properly, and it was making me mad. So
okay. Were you doing it as a screen share on your monitor or a video you're trying to upload? Anyway, you got it. Anyway, that's...
No, I don't have it. Son of a monkey spank. God damn it. Just talk.
All right. Well, okay, so that's kind of the overview, some questions about... I want your perspective on that, special teams, though. Right, we can't do the wedge anymore. The wedge is illegal. But in terms of field goal protection, as far as I'm aware, there's no rule that says you can't have all offensive linemen on the line, except for your... you have a different guy for your long snapper. Generally, they're not one of your offensive linemen. So why can't Big Boy Myers be out there? He's a big, wide body, right? I mean, throw all those dudes in there. What the hell? Why not? And as far as Tyler Lancaster's position, I guess, yes, I understand there was no help with him on the outside, but your base rules are you collapse down, you don't let anybody go between the gaps, and you make anybody that's free, you make them go around the outside. You make them go the farthest distance, because if the timing is right on the kick, they shouldn't be able to get there. It's highly unlikely that they will be able to get there if they have to go all the way around the outside, even if they're unblocked. All right. Let's see. Like I said during the game and the text, why did Drayton or who did Drayton lose when they activated Z, Jair, and everyone? Did they lose guys in special teams that could have screwed Mo and special teams? Now, that's another good question, Ben. And this was something. Did you here? Let's talk about this. Let's shed some light on something else that happened, because everybody was super jacked, right? Everybody's super excited. Oh, we're getting Z back, and we got Jair back, and we thought we had Bakhtiari back, but no, we didn't. We made the wrong choice starting Billy Turner. We know that, instead of Yash. We thought we had all those guys back. Let's address this real quick, and then we'll get to your video because I see it's working. Now, you can only have a certain number of guys on the game day roster. You can only have a certain number of guys that then if you're going to bring these other guys back that can still play special teams. And I think it did impact the special teams bringing all these guys back, because do you know how many snaps Jair had? You're muted. He had 19 snaps, I think. And Zadarius Smith was around that same amount, around like 20 snaps, 18 snaps. So you took a game day position to bring these guys back who played minimally a small percentage of snaps on the field in the first place. And then you had to not have guys on the active roster that day that otherwise you might have had that could have bolstered your special teams. So were these moves of getting these guys back, but then not playing them as if they're the starters, did that end up creating a big issue with special teams as well? Because like I said, and I thought so too, you have guys who have probably been playing it for quite a while this season when those guys weren't on the roster, and now those guys weren't even on the field or even in the game.
I don't know. I didn't listen to anything you said.
Okay, well, you guys maybe did, and I want you to think about that because that's a good point. And I thought I wanted to do that. I looked up Zadarius' snap count, Jair's snap count after the game, because I wanted to see, because I didn't notice him being on the field all that much. And just think about that. Like, why would you bring them back in a limited role when you have limited opportunities and possibilities for players that you can have active in a game? So you're having like this specialty role on defense, 2 guys on defense in a specialty role. And how did that impact your special teams? Because you had other guys that couldn't be active. Because those guys didn't play special teams for you, did they? No. Nope.
No, but one of them got a huge sack, and the other one is on defense anyway, so who gives a crap? The bigger problem is why did we bring Billy Turner back?
Well, yeah, that's the biggest
and cut
problem.
Ben Braden? And why did we have Dave Bakhtiari save a roster spot, and he didn't even play? Those are the bigger questions.
Dad wants expanded rosters for the playoffs, which basketball does it. Why doesn't football do it? Makes sense. Why not?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, what do you got here?
Okay, that's how it works. All right, well, that's cool.
It's in the thing. I just have to activate it and bring it up. So.
Did you activate it? Or did I
I did.
activate
I activated it.
I don't even know what's going on.
Ooh, Zero. Zero's thinking that they did this. I get it, Zero, but seriously, with only that number of snaps for those guys, I mean, I'm sorry. If Jair was healthy enough to play, he should have been starting, not Eric Stokes. Right? And then you could have used Stokes more on specials, and you could have used Stokes in, that's fine. But I don't want Jair to come back and then play 19 snaps or 18 snaps or whatever it was. Why? There's no impact there. And Zadarius, we saw his impact. He got his one play right away, and then he did jack squat with his other opportunities. So he disappeared. Got his one big play. Crowd was all hyped up. Everybody's all excited. He did his gobble, 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 and then shut it down. So you want to watch Zadarius Smith play a game of football, watch for his one play, and the rest of the plays, you might as well not even watch them because there's going to be zero impact the rest of the plays. There's
an impact.
That's his MO. Well, yeah, he got blocked
for the other team.
He got not just blocked by Deebo Samuel, he got knocked to the ground and flattened by Deebo Samuel on a running play. He was out of his gap on other running plays. So he did other damage, when he was in, but just damage to the Packers. Chances of winning. Continue on. What's this about?
Okay, is it a freeze frame shot right now?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want. This is the punt. This is the punt block.
Punt block. All right. What do we got?
If you're looking here, we got the center right here, right? This net long snapper, 46. Then we got a linebacker, a tight end, and a safety for protection. The other thing we have is 2 guys on the defense here and here, way, way outside, and 4 guys over here, right? And this guy is the guy who makes the play. And he's lined up in between both of these two linebackers. Right? But one of them's got one line, we got to take this guy, we got to take this guy. Don't you think it might be smart to switch your safety over here?
Yes.
I don't know. Especially based on the alignment. Like, that should be a coaching point that these guys should know. Hey, if the line is, if the defenders are flooding one side or the other, the safety guy, you need to move to the side of the where it's being overloaded and help pick up the outside rush. And everybody just takes a guy inside. And then 41, who is black, would take the outside 53, the rusher from the 49ers. That's a coaching point that should have been made that they should know. There's rules, right? It appears to be no rules. It's just, hey, guys, this is our formation. You just line up in your formation, and then you punt, no matter what the defense does, even if they line up all crazy like this.
Yeah, this isn't, just hold on. This isn't like even an over, this isn't too many guys to block. Let me just say that, right? Because they even have two guys back right there. You have plenty of guys to block the guys that are there. This is also where sometimes defensive football is really stupid, where you have guys covering areas of the field where there's nobody there and they don't adjust. This is one of those things. You need to block the people in front of you. So if you on one side do not have enough blockers, you need to adjust your formation, and the players should know that, and the coaches should know that. And if you had the luxury of maybe a timeout here, you'd probably use it to make sure you adjusted properly. But this, you shouldn't even need a timeout. You should talk through these scenarios. You should practice this. You should say, look, if somebody overloads us, we gotta have the right blockers. The guy snapping the ball cannot be expected to block somebody by himself. Not at all. He's not a big guy, number one. Number two, his job is to snap the ball, right? And then try to help out blocking. So you're overloaded on that side. You needed to make that adjustment. Black needed to move over. You're right.
Okay, here's the other thing. Take a look at Bojorquez right now. That snap is so low and crappy, he can barely get to it. Look at how far he's bent down. That slowed him down. Look at Black's reaction. He's still standing in the same place. The ball's been snapped and already to the punter, and he hasn't moved. Owen Burks has got nobody to block, and he's certainly not helping here. Barnes is more concerned with this guy who's way back 5 yards off the ball. He's not going to snap. He's not going to block anything. Who gives a crap? Why is he not helping out here? This was the guy in front of him, was this D tackle. You expect the center or the long snapper to snap it and then somehow get the hand on the big guy? And here's Black. Does he help? Does he do anything on this play? He's the safety. He's there to make sure if somebody gets through, he helps, right? He did nothing. He's actually weaving through his own guys to try to get downfield. Owen Burks is gone.
Right. Look at him.
I know that's their job, right? Get downfield and make the tackle.
Their number one job is to protect first.
Right, it should be.
Exactly. With special teams, right. You want to coverage units, you got to cover. But you have to block first. Block first. Make sure your protection is good. Then you take off. Now for Burks, because there were so few guys on that side, that kind of makes sense. But for Black, it makes zero sense. Zero sense. Like he had to. What makes
more
adjust.
sense is since there was nobody in front of him, he should have helped the long snapper. Like his first job should be look at the long snapper and see if there's somebody jumps in front of him and to help him block.
Instead, look, he's way upfield here and just taking off.
And then look at the size difference between 46 and this guy.
Right.
He's got to have 50, 60 pounds on him. I mean, look how skinny this dude is. Like, we got to get a long snapper who's got some size. I mean, Brett Good was not an athlete at all, but he was a good 270 pounds. This guy looks like he's 220, if even that. I mean, he looks about the size of a defensive back out there. And that's your long snapper? Of course he's going to get his butt kicked by a big, tough D tackle. And then you know what happens. I mean, what are you going to do? And then they're all like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? I mean, it's just dumb. But Mo Drayton should be canned. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
It's bad.
I don't understand how when you're like, if I was a player, like even Pat McAfee has had, I don't know if you've watched some of his shows, and he talks about like there was one time where they called a fake punt or something, or a fake field goal, and he was supposed to get it and then score. And then he was like, Troy Polamalu lined up in some weird gap that he never did before, and it was the gap he was supposed to run to. And McAfee was like, no. He changed it to just a regular extra point because it was supposed, or a field goal or whatever it was. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be a play where they're like supposed to go. They were going to try to get a touchdown or something. But when he saw Troy Polamalu lined up in the gap that he was supposed to run to, he was like, forget this crap. He changed it. So these guys should be coached. Hey, if something's overloaded, adjust to the overload. Block somebody. We just watched 3 guys not block anybody. Gave no help to the long snapper. Long snapper's got to snap the ball and then block a guy 3 times his size or twice his size. And then on the field goal, Lancaster's job was to block 3 dudes, apparently. That's insane. He's an undrafted player who's not even an offensive lineman.
Right, defensive lineman.
And his job is to block 3 dudes? As a head coach, LaFleur should know what the situation is. He should be in the special teams coordinator's face and say, hey, what happens what's our adjustment if we get overloaded on one side or the other? This is not something that you should be worried about in a playoff game. These are answers that should happen during the offseason. And everybody should know what those answers are. I mean, that's pathetic that this happened in a playoff game and it ended the season. And I'm a Rodgers hater, and I will go into on Rodgers. But I want people to know the special teams is the main culprit for why they lost that game. Everybody knows that. And I put the blame on the coaching, not the players. The players they only do what they're told. And it's not going to matter whether you had all-star you could have David Bakhtiari in Tyler Lancaster's spot. David Bakhtiari's not going to block 3 dudes on that field goal. Okay? He's not. You need to be coached to adjust. So I blame coaching 100%. It's not, and LaFleur said something about like you were talking about starters, and they brought back Z and these guys, and maybe they took up spots for special teams players, and maybe didn't. No. Those 2 plays that cost the Packers 10 points, one way or the other, giving up 7 and not getting 3, that's coaching. That is coaching, 100%. And that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me the most.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry it took so long for me to get my stupid video to work. And I kind of heard what you were saying before about, those Darius.
No, that's fine. It just made me... It made me question whether that was a fact. I just didn't like how if you were going to hype these guys up and bring them back and have 2 weeks of practice and then just put them on the field, especially with Jair. Like I hated it. I hated it. But
here's the thing that bothers me is it felt like the Packers had no urgency in this game,
except early on. That was the other problem.
No,
people are like they start
defense,
out flat, but even the offense, like clipping on the first drive and even the second drive. Like they were playing, they seemed to be ready to go. They seemed to be coming out and playing football. And I was like, okay, they're not coming out flat. So if you're worried about the bye week and all this other stuff that sometimes are coming out flat, they didn't seem to come out flat. They seemed to get flat after they lost steam and then just went flat, but they didn't come out flat. So it was weird to me, really weird.
Yeah. Definitely.
Z was smiling after that first play. I mean, he was all happy and yeah.
Well, you want to talk about your comparison thing?
Zero is pointing out, you kind of expect Rodgers, Mr. MVP, to score a touchdown on his home field.
Well, let's get into it.
And
let's tell us about your Aaron Rodgers.
All right, that's fine. So I did some looking because I wanted to see, because as I talked about during the game in our broadcast of it, And as many of us have talked about for many years as Packer fans, where the other team continually throws the ball over the middle of the field and gets first downs, and the Packers seem to just ignore the middle of the field. And there are numerous pass plays where you can look, and if you see the bigger view, you see guys out here to the right, you see guys out here to the left, and working the sidelines and nobody between the hashes at all. And you're just thinking, here's a big wide open spot in the middle. Why is there nobody there? Why is there not even a single guy in this whole middle section of the field on a play? That should be never. There should be 0 plays where there's nobody in the middle of the field. And sometimes you should attack the middle of the field in layers or at different depths, like run a guy up the seam and then run a back out on a circle pattern right in that void where the linebacker drops back with the guy coming up the seam and it's wide open. An easy play, easy on 3rd and 5 or 6 or 7 to do something like that. But the Packers don't do it. And again, the question there is why? That's the ultimate question that we do not know the answer to. The media, I'd love for them to ask those questions, but they don't. But why? Why do we not attack the middle of the field when teams do it to us? So, drives me crazy. Makes no sense. I want to know, did Matt LaFleur call plays that would have guys running over the middle? And Aaron Rodgers chose to change the pass patterns on those plays?
Oh,
Did that happen enough? Were there
video
plays
evidence? Or I thought you were doing a Jimmy G comparison here.
We'll get to that, but that's
this goes back, video.
This goes back to Jimmy G. Did anyone see the replays? Did you see the replays of Jimmy Garoppolo's passes over the middle? They weren't even good passes. Like they were a bad spot. He didn't have the laces. He threw them low. He threw them behind guys, but it didn't matter because it was wide open. Because the guy just took a jab step and then cut to the middle, and there's nobody there. And guess what? For a bunch of other defenses, there's nobody there too. So why don't you do it? Anyway, here's the point. We'll get into video evidence of that. Now, looking at the game, some interesting stats, because I was like, what's important? What is important when you look at players and how they play? Because I heard a lot of people say to me and put stuff out saying, well, Rodgers, he wasn't that bad. He had a pretty good game. What was he, 20 out of 29?
He had 225 yards.
295 yards.
No, not 90. It was 225.
Okay, 225 yards. 75 of them to Aaron Jones and then one.
75 to Aaron Jones. So wouldn't really get too fired up about that.
But
that's 19 out of 26 for 150 yards. Yeah, that's not that great.
Fair enough. And how many catches by Aaron Jones, which most of them were short in the flat.
Dump off.
And some short ones to Adams. So do completions matter, or do completions for first downs and continuing drives matter? So that was what the ultimate thing I wanted to look at. And then I got thinking, I'm like, who had more first down completions in this game? Was it Jimmy Garoppolo with only 10 completions in the whole game? 10 out of 19? Jimmy Garoppolo? Did he manage to get... He had half as many completions as Aaron Rodgers. Did he manage to get more first down completions? And then I also thought, well, what's really important too, because everybody focuses on the second half of the game. How many of Aaron Rodgers' first down completions that he did have in this game, how many of them came in
completions for first downs?
Completions for first downs, yes, okay. I'm sorry. Completions
first down completion means the completion on first down.
Okay, completions to move the chains. Completions to move the chains, okay? How many of those happened for Aaron Rodgers? And how many happened in the second half?
Not a single one.
Because the Packers you look at that, you saw the play with Bojo backed up. You saw opportunities for this offense to win the game late in the game, and they couldn't even get a first down. They could not even get a first down. And that's why Bojo was kicking out of his end zone. I said it the other night. It was true. But let's just take a look. I did some investigating. I put this together real quick for you because my dog was trying to stop me, but I still got it done. And I just think it was really interesting. Some interesting things. Because most people, me included, would say that Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of a bum. Like, he's not a good quarterback. Is he a good quarterback? I wouldn't say so. But let's just see what happened when you compare Jimmy Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers, and see what they did. Because I was surprised. Wait, was I surprised? I'm not sure if I was surprised or not. We'll just take a sneak peek here. Oh wait, I gotta work one more thing here. Oh yeah. No, anyway, you'll get the point here. Here we go.
And we got some technical difficulties tonight.
All right, we
If
got
we
it.
were still
we got
on
it,
Zoom, I wouldn't have any damn technical difficulties. Just so
we
you know.
got it. We got it here.
Just so you know.
I wanted to blow it up a little bit. Blow it up for you a little bit. All right, so here's the stats, guys. First down completions. We have quarterback comparison. We have quarterback A. We have quarterback B. Quarterback A had 7 first down completions in the game. Quarterback B had 8. Second half attempts by the quarterbacks. Here's another thing, right? Second half attempts. Were they way out of skew? No. Quarterback A had 10. Quarterback B had 12. Actual pass attempts. Now, both guys in the game were sacked about the same amount of times, right? Garoppolo got a lot of pressure on him. He got sacked. Rodgers got some pressure on him. He got sacked. Second half first downs. Second half first down throws. Quarterback A had 4. Quarterback B had 2. And on their last drive, quarterback A had 2 first down throws.
Conversions. Throws that conversions for first down.
Yes. First down conversion throws.
Thank you.
Quarterback B had 0. So if you remember the game, quarterback A is Jimmy Garoppolo. Quarterback B is Aaron Rodgers, MVP of the league. Now, the other key point here, which is interesting, Aaron Rodgers, of his 8 total first downs, first down throws for first down conversions, of 8 of them in the whole game, 4 of them were on the opening drive of the game. So after 5 minutes into the game, Aaron Rodgers threw for a total of 4 first downs the whole rest of the game. So you tell me who played better in this game. I don't care what the total game stats are. I want to know what the money stats are. Who got first down conversions? Who kept drives going? Who moved their team? That's who played better. Straight up truth. That's all I got for that.
That's pretty sad.
It is. MVP. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo ever been talked about in MVP conversation ever? Even in high school? Probably not.
No. Give me some share, brother.
All right. Ooh, I'm getting some sound here. Oh, we got some arrows. We got arrows and circles.
How do I get this to, I can get it to the, oh, man. What is this?
Arrows and circles.
I can't adjust it. Oh, I got to do it on here. Wow, this is not good. All right.
I can do it too from where I'm at, but if you can do it, that's probably better.
All right, so here's the scoop. We're just looking at 2 plays here. We're looking at, because I can remember all season long, all everybody says is, man, remember the Packers, they just have stall, like their drives just stall sometimes, right? They just stall. Like, why do they stall? I mean, they seem to move the ball so well, and then they just stall, right? Well, there's a lot of things that happen in this game that are kind of funny. Now, this is a pretty straightforward look here to start off with. When you look at this, the defense, you got coverage up here on Devontae. You got this corner deep on this 3 set on this side, right? So you got a safety or a slot corner here, outside corner here. You got your safety deep, safety here, 2 linebackers. It's pretty set up as a man coverage with a single high safety or a zone or whatever when you're looking at it from the start, okay? And Rodgers is looking at it and seeing it. Right before the ball snaps, however, you're going to see everybody drop back into a quarters coverage. So you've got quarter here, or actually it might be 3 deep with 4 down in the zone. So it switches to zone. You got this guy going deep for his quarter, this guy in the single, this guy going deep to his quarter, and it's kind of like a double team on Devontae Adams on the top because the Packers always want to put Devontae over by himself. Well, that always leads to a Devontae double team. If you don't use him in the pattern with other receivers, he never gets open. What these routes are going to do is this. You got Randall Cobb is going to come up and take this spot right here. This is actually Randall Cobb. This kind of yellow here. This orange or gold. That's
He's
Randall
going.
Cobb.
Yeah, he's going deeper.
He's going
there.
sneak
Okay.
right in between this hole, and there's a hole here. Okay. Now there are 2 linebackers that are holding up this spot in the zone. A.J. Dillon kind of sits back and hangs out for a little bit for some reason, and then comes out. I really wish he would have came out right away, because if he had come out right away, that would force this linebacker to move forward to cover him, and then this hole would be open because this guy is going straight back to cover Devontae Adams, right? And then Lazard is out here. He's just kind of doing like a deeper route on the outside. And then you're going to have the flat is Daphne or somebody who is going to be kind of sneaking out to get a extra pass if Rodgers gets in trouble, right? He's just like the safety valve guy. So as you watch the play develop a little more here, and Rodgers is looking at Devontae. Now he's already changed. Now he's looking back the other way. And after this block here by Daphne or DeGuara, I can't remember who it is, they're going to sneak out.
Look at Billy Turner on that. Look at what he's doing.
Well, he doesn't have to block anybody because the tight end is taking him.
Why get the freaking tight end on the damn flat and let Billy Turner block somebody?
So because Lazard is now taking the inside deep route, that freezes this deep safety, okay, and allows that opening to happen because Devontae's going deep and they're going to double team. And then because you've got A.J. Dillon come out of the backfield, Rodgers should be looking at this linebacker and freezing him, okay? And you might say, and this is tough, as Aaron Rodgers doesn't like throwing interceptions, right? So where are your passing lanes here? He's got a passing lane right through the middle, right? He's got a passing lane right here. If Devontae is on an inside slant or an inside route, like right here,
right?
That's a pass. That's good. But he's not on that type of route right now because he's got to go deep.
Yeah.
Lazard
with his blazing speed has to go deep. Yeah.
Lazard, based on this, on his route where he's going to come in, there is a spot here, but Rodgers would have to throw it now. Like he'd have to throw it now to make this a completed pass. Because this safety is looking at him. Everybody's looking at him because it's zone, right? But the difference between Rodgers and all other quarterbacks, any other quarterback would be looking at these things and they would know, okay, I have to anticipate this throw. I throw it now to this spot. I throw it right now, knowing that Randall Cobb will be there to catch it. But he sees this safety, so he's worried. He's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. You want to throw here? You could hit him. There's a spot. You have to throw it now, but this safety could cover it off, right? Rodgers doesn't want to throw a pick. So he will not take a chance in the middle of the field. He just doesn't do it, and he won't do it. Now, the thing that sucks is if A.J. Dillon had come out and was over here by this point, instead of sitting in the backfield for that long to help protect, and he only has to help protect because, of course, Billy Turner stinks, he'd be out here about right now. This linebacker would have to cover him, or Fred Warner would have to cover him, and then Rodgers would have a passing lane right here to Lazard, or he would have an over-the-top throw to Cobb over here. But because A.J. Dillon is slow getting out of the backfield, this linebacker is still back here.
Right? They didn't have to come up and cover anybody in the short
right,
area.
And that freezes Rodgers, and he's too afraid. And then next thing you know, Rodgers is going to do... Okay, this is just me showing out how everybody's looking at him, right?
Yep.
And now, even now, if he had still stayed looking this way instead of looking to his outlet check,
right.
Now these linebackers are look at their body position.
They're attacking.
They're all attacking and moving forward. And why? Because he looked this way. He could have looked this way, pump faked, and then threw the ball back over here. But look at all the space now for Randall Cobb. Look at all the space here for Lazard. Like there is space to throw the ball now because Fred Warner and the other linebacker are worried about A.J. Dillon. And now they're looking for, like even I thought Fred Warner was going this way he actually goes straight to Dillon first and then goes this way after Rodgers throws the ball. But Rodgers doesn't, he gets off it right away and he decides, and he's got a perfect pocket. He's got plenty of time. And now he first lets go of the ball. And then, boom, smack, incompletion. And that was on 2nd down and 6, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just showing you things that, like Justin Herbert, right? Justin Herbert would be drilling that crap. he'd be
Guys
real
do it all the time. We even said how Rodgers did it. He'll do it when he needs to,
right.
or we think when he needs to. But if it's like late in the game and you got to go for it, I mean, come on. The pass he threw over Fred Warner's head to win the game against San Francisco last time, like that was way tighter than this. There's space there.
Yeah, and it's just so that's why that play didn't work, right?
But also the other thing you point out is why do you have a guy like Davante Adams trying to go to the outside all the time or trying to go deep all the time? And is that the design play call, or is that a route adjustment that they like to make?
Give me another share because I'm going to show the very next play, and we're going to show why that play didn't work. Because this was the first time the Packers were stopped that wasn't a punt of some sort, right? So we're going to look at this play now. This is 3rd down at 6. And what isn't shown here, you got to trust me on this. I know Eckes probably isn't going to want to trust me. He's going to think I'm lying. But Rodgers gives an adjustment of some sort to let these guys do something different. Okay? So here's the thing. If I was calling a play, this is what I would call on 3rd down at 6. You got Allen Lazard up here. He's going to do an inside slant. You got Randall Cobb. He's going to do a 8-9 yard out route, go to the sticks. And then this is Daphne. His job is to just clear this out so that Lazard's got an open spot. Then if this is a big mess over here, then I'm coming back over this way and I'm hitting my running back because Davante is going deep just to clear it all out. Boom. We're good to go, right? That's a play call that I would call. And it works against man, it works against zone. Against man, you get a natural rub. Either this guy is going to go up and then get beat to the outside, or this guy is going to get rubbed and beat and run into each other, and then you got an open spot right here for the first down with Lazard, right? If they switch to zone, what this does is it puts a quandary on this guy. Is he going to back up?
Which guy is that? The right corner or the
deep corner?
Okay.
He either has to, if when Lazard does a cut in, if it's like a match zone, he'll have to come in with them, right?
Yep.
And if he doesn't get deep enough, if he doesn't go with them, then you got Randall Cobb over here, and you watch these two guys and see what they do. I mean, I play this in Madden all the time, and you just kind of see what the defense does. But Rodgers is looking at this, and he's seeing at the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage. Everybody's at the line of scrimmage. You got a deep safety. It looks like single high man again. But you're going to find out real quick.
So he's like, let's beat him. We'll go deep, Davante.
See that? Watch what happens as soon as the ball's getting ready to snap. And they watch the play clock because, they let it run down to 1 second every damn time.
Yeah, right.
So 49ers know exactly when to back up. And watch this. Okay. Guess what? All the 49ers back up. Now it's a 2 deep safety. And you got man. It is man. This guy's got man on the running back. But here's the thing. I don't know what Rodgers changed the play to, but you do have Daphne who's clearing this out. And Fred Warner is even ahead of him because he's way faster than him. So he's actually covered him on the deep pass. He knows he's going on a deep route. He knows his job is to clear this out. He knew it already. Lazard, for some reason, is doing an in-cutting route. If you look up here.
He's at the top, right?
Yeah, he's at the top. And he's already further down than Daphne is. I don't know why is Daphne in the game on 3rd and 6. That's another thing I want to get into, but that's side's point. And then Randall Cobb, I don't know what he's supposed to do. He got bumped at about the 5 yard mark here, and then had to adjust and run around over here. And that's the play call. So you got your running back. Your running back helps block for a second, and then he's supposed to sneak out. Davante just runs straight. Daphne runs straight. Lazard runs straight 15 yards. Randall Cobb get beat and then get smacked and then run straight. Okay, that's a great play call.
I love it. I love it when guys just run straight. It's like
this is not the play call though. Rodgers changed the play. I'm just telling you. Rodgers changed the. I watched him change the play.
Because he saw everybody uptight and he thought, oh, we'll beat him over the top, right?
That's right. But they all backed up as soon as it got to 1 second because they knew what was going to happen because Rodgers does it all the time. It's nothing new. Like everybody says, oh, great Rodgers. Oh, he can read the defense. He wants to wait and so he can know exactly what it is. Blobbity, floopity, flop. No. Everybody knows what he does. He's been playing for years. And he does the same thing all the time. And now let's take a look at what happened. You've got 3 Packer receivers within 7 yards of each other. And this one guy is pretty much covering these 2 because the passing lane is there. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Rodgers can't throw to either of these 2 players because this guy is covering them both.
The one guy
and Daphne is not even looking for the ball because he's just running straight.
Right. His job is to clear out, and there's no
Now,
way he's going to. Right.
This is the one time where he probably should have looked at Devontae. Because look at all this space over here. He could have threw this rainbow over to this side.
Sure, the whole shot.
Devontae could have looked up and, maybe adjusted or whatever. I don't know. But that's not what happens. And it's 3rd and 6. And there's not a single Packer in the middle of the field here with only 1 defender. The routes did not help each other at all.
I'm sorry. Did you say it was 3rd and 6?
3rd and 6.
3rd and 6. Why don't we have anybody short over the middle here? Why don't we
There's not a single person short. There's a running back who's going to sneak out late, which does not help anybody, especially when the defense is looking for it. Now, against this man, can you imagine if a running back snuck out to this side? Since it was man, these guys are all coming deep. Then a running back sneaks out and you hit him, and then he just goes up the corner. Because this guy's, look at his body. He's worried about Lazard's deep rush or deep pass route.
Well, you could have it either side right here. It'd
be better to this side because the blockers are there. Yeah, I guess. But this guy over here is watching him. He'd have to come all the way across.
I'm just saying you get a first down. If you run a guy out in the flat there, you got a first down. Probably.
Maybe. This guy might get over to catch him.
Or if you run somebody over the middle. Like, Jesus, come on,
But the bottom line is, whatever Rodgers changed his play to, either it's really stupid or somebody didn't get the right adjustment, right? Because why would you have 2 guys basically 5 yards from each other not running a route pattern that actually would help them? But here's the worst part about this play. I'm going to show you in another second. And why Rodgers is not a good quarterback.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm saying it. So here we go. We're moving forward.
Certain plays, but I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, but he overthinks things too much and overdoes it, like adjusts himself out of a good play because he thinks he's going to get some advantage by what he's seeing. And then you just saw how the 49ers tricked him into doing it probably a bunch of times in this game.
Now, if you look here, this is what I was showing about how there's all this space here. And this arrow I'm showing is if Lazard had a comeback route here, look how open that'd be.
Right.
If the ball was already, like if this was Jordy Nelson, this would be a completion for a first down if it was Jordy Nelson. But Lazard doesn't run those routes. He does sometimes, but they just didn't call it. Like, call a comeback route against man, especially for a guy who doesn't have speed. And now, Nick Bosa is beating Kelly.
Which you would expect.
Right, but still, that's a lot of time Rodgers has had in the pocket so far. And Rodgers is going to escape this way, okay, which is good.
You're going to escape to his right? Okay.
Yep, and you're going to watch him. He gets out. And now watch this part. This is the part that really gets me mad. Okay. He is looking downfield.
Yeah. Lazard runs to an opening here.
Lazard runs here. Throw the ball right now. There's a corner here who just is going this way, and now he has to come back. And he's too far. If you throw it up to a 6'5" Lazard to this point, and this guy's never going to get there. But Rodgers is too scared to throw a pick. He thinks this guy might be able to jump in front or something.
Well, it doesn't even look like he's looking at Lazard. Is he looking for Cobb here or Daphne or what?
Well, he throws it here to Daphne for some unknown reason. A big, slow tight end who's covered by a way faster linebacker in Fred Warner.
A professional quarterback should make that throw, and it should get there to Lazard. There's room, there's space.
And you can see Lazard is already moving back. He's ready. Yeah. He's ready for that throw. He is ready for that throw.
Yeah, he made the adjustment on Rodgers escape in the pocket. Exactly what he should do.
Look at that. That would be a first down.
Throw the ball.
He first throws it now, and then it's broken up down. I don't know. It's kind of choppy because I don't know. This is a weird thing I'm using that I'm not used to using this, but What I'm showing is this. We had a change adjustment to stupid routes. We had nobody in the middle of the field as a
Just
receiver.
drank too much Kool-Aid.
We had nobody coming out of the backfield to try to help out for like an outlet pass until way too late. We had Rodgers who actually escaped the pocket. And Lazard who actually adjusted, which would have been a first down for about a 11-yard pass, which would have been an easy pass to throw. Rodgers either missed it or chose not to do it or was too afraid or whatever, thinks he's going to throw a pick, trying to go deep for some unknown reason to a undrafted tight end who's slow and not really known for making big catches. He trusted him more than he trusted Lazard, who's wide open on the sideline. It just doesn't make sense. And then, of course, we punt. And that was just the first time that happened. The first time that the Packers drive stalled out of the next, I don't know how many in a row.
Right.
And it's because Rodgers won't throw the ball. He doesn't want to throw a pick. He doesn't even throw it where there's a minute chance that it might be a pick. Even though the throwing lanes are there, I showed you on second down, the throwing lanes are there. Like, how do you think Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers survived the NFL as long as they did? Anticipation throws. They know where their guy is supposed to go. They see where the defense is. They throw it to where the defense is not, way ahead of time before the guy makes a move. Rodgers doesn't throw it until the guy's open. He won't throw it until he knows the guy's open and there's nobody there to make a pick. Period. You cannot win that way. All you're going to do is stall and stall and stall. He's not good.
I have a question for you on that. And maybe this all goes back to all of the magical adjustments that are made. Now, if you practice the play and you knew what the routes were, the receivers knew what routes they're supposed to run on that play, then you could know where your guys were going to be, right?
Yep.
But when you're making adjustments all the time to the routes and this adjustment because of this leverage or this is what you saw or whatever, but you don't want to take that chance that your guy didn't make the right adjustment as you see it, because you have to see it the same way they see it. And some of these are option routes where it's okay, read the defender, and then you decide which way you're going to break, if you break at all. Is that why this happens? Is that why he has to wait? Because he's like, well, I got to wait to see which way they're going to go before I decide to do it. But that's all done by him. That's not running the play. If you knew the play, if you knew what the play was and the receivers knew what the play was, then you could anticipate. You could make anticipation throws because you know what the hell the play is, and everybody knows what the play is. How many times do you think Packer players on this offense don't or thought the play was something else, and then Rodgers just does an adjustment and throws it to Adams, and nobody else knew what the hell was going on but those two guys? How many times per game has that happened in the last 2 years?
Well, it happens all the time. Because you could tell because the offensive linemen are doing run blocking,
Yep.
and Rodgers is throwing up to Devontae Adams.
But it's a team game, right? And it's football. And look,
That brings up one more
is still
thing.
drinking the Kool-Aid. And
Ekes,
dude,
let me ask you a question,
man.
Ekes. Let me ask you a question, Ekes. And I'm going to bring this back to Statesman. What do you think it would be like, okay, if you're in Statesman, or maybe we'll do 7-piece nugget. You're in 7-piece nugget, okay? And we did songs, and I asked you to be in 7-piece nugget, which is, for anybody who doesn't know what 7-piece nugget is, it was an a cappella group we did. It was just me and Jace and a bunch of our buds. We were in another a cappella group for a long time, but we knew these other guys could sing, and we wanted to just be in a band with them, and just sing with them and have fun. So, what if if I asked you to be 7-piece nugget, and every song I just had you sing backgrounds the whole time, and I took all the lead, and I got all the credit, and everybody said, God dang that Ben, he can sing. And maybe I am the best singer. And I was. And I still am. But does that mean that I have the right to just sing every damn frickin' song? And let you guys just sit there and sing oohs and ahs behind me for the whole time? Is that any fun? To sit back there and do oohs and ahs the whole time while I'm up there screaming, singing, and doing whatever?
Screaming.
And after a while, how do you think Alan Lazard feels? Or Randall Cobb? Or anybody else who's running routes all day long and gets no targets? Lazard got 1 catch. Randall Cobb got 1 target.
Right.
Even though I just showed you on second down, they're open. Rodgers won't throw him the ball. Even when he sees him open, he won't throw him the ball. Or he doesn't see him because he's looking at Devontae. Or he forces it to Devontae like he did at the end of the game. But those guys should still work their butts off. Bust their butts all day long, running routes and blocking, when they're not really helping the team win because their route doesn't matter. Because you just line up Devontae over here and Rodgers just goes one-on-one, him and Devontae against the whole other team. The other guys could just stand there, really. Just like we watched on the punt block.
Yeah.
Those guys just stood there on the one side because they know, hey, I don't have to do nothing. Well, I'm not going to waste my time. The other guys are going to get in there because they got the whole side doubled. They got way more men than they can block over there. So those guys can work hard. I'll just stand here, and we're going to get a block. Field goal. We're going to get a block punt. We don't have to do anything. But Alan Lazard has to work hard every time.
And here's the other maddening part.
Ridiculous.
We've seen it. We've seen even this version of Aaron Rodgers. We've seen him spread the ball around. We've seen him run the offense
When Devontae's not in the game, when he's hurt. That's why they've never lost a game when Devontae Adams is out. Coincidence? No.
But then he defaults back to this stuff. Like, I understand the whole idea of you need to have a great there's this and this is kind of another myth to me. They're kind of another myth. I don't think you need, if you build a team and have a plan on how you want to play offense, you don't need an elite quarterback to win, and everybody thinks you do. We've had an elite quarterback, guy that's a 4-time MVP. How many Super Bowls have we won? 1 time. And a lot of stuff had to come together. B.J. Raji had to pick off a pass in Chicago and return it for a touchdown in order for us to do that. Like, stuff had to break. We had to get breaks come our way.
Tremont had to make that pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
Against the Eagles. For us to get in through the first round.
So I think the whole elite quarterback winning a Super Bowl is overblown. There have been plenty of guys that have not been elite quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. There's a whole list of them, okay? But they had other elements to the team. They had a good defense, which the Packers are building now. They're finally getting some pieces that we can't let go, and the only way we can keep some important ones is if we have enough money to do it and cap space to do it. But also the approach is just changing the way you play offense. Look, I said it before. Jared Goff looked like a really good quarterback at least 1 year with the Rams. I think he made the Pro Bowl. And why? Because they were a run-first team. He played mostly off of play action. Guys were open, and it was the actual offense. It wasn't a bunch of, I'm going to figure out and try to figure out what the defense is doing and then make all these changes and blah, 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 blah. You're making football way too complicated. Aaron Rodgers makes football way too complicated for me and probably for most of the guys he plays with.
When you watch, Kurt Warner actually broke down every single passing play in this game for the Packers. And there were multiple times when the 49ers defense lined up in like a man situation or even like kind of like a weird looking, like who knows what they're going to do. And right before the ball snapped would switch to a quarters look, with 4 guys deep and 3 guys underneath or 3 guys, the 3 deep with 4 guys underneath or whatever. Like whatever they did, they would switch right at the last second and screw everything up. Like Rodgers would look at it ahead of time because Rodgers, he wants to look at the play and know what's going on and blah, 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 blah. Yet, everybody knows that's what he does. And the 49ers knew that's what he does.
Right.
So they wait right until the last second, and then with 1 second on the play clock, they adjust to what the defense is actually called. Can you imagine if he actually would have snapped the ball and hiked it at like 4 seconds, where they were not lined up in the right place? Hey, guess what? A big play happens. But nope, you got to wait all the way down to 1 second because we got to wait because they're gonna move. Well, it seems to me that whenever they move, Rodgers nothing registers in his brain that whatever the new defense is that they had, It doesn't register for quick enough for him to make an adjustment and then throw the ball. He's got to like run around. That's the other thing. With all that open space, take off and run a couple times. What happened to the Aaron Rodgers who could run? I know he's old. He's 38, 37, whatever he is. But there's plenty of room for him to get going. Even on that 3rd down and 6 play just now. Run. Try to get the first down. This is the freaking playoffs.
Yeah.
This is your life at the end. This is your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're throwing a 50-50 ball to Devontae Adams on a last pass he throws a Packer?
Yeah, and Zero wants that play. That was so egregious too.
Well, we've seen. I mean, we'll get like.
But
what
I mean,
I want to do
every-
is each week I want to break down what happened at the end of every one of those drives, and I will. I will grab the last couple plays and see. Okay, was it protection? Was it this? We just watched. There's good protection on 2nd down. Rodgers won't throw the ball. On 3rd down, yeah, Kelly got beat after a while, but it's because and then Rodgers changed the play to guys just running into each other pretty much.
And then it was
nobody in the middle of the field.
Then it was he broke the pocket, and then it was playground football. Lazard adjusted.
He had Lazard.
He adjusted appropriately. The throw was there. He just didn't want to make it.
Or he didn't see it. I don't know.
Or he didn't see it. But you would think the guy closest to you going to the sideline, moving in the same direction as you would be easy to find. But apparently he was looking for something else. I don't know why.
He's made way tougher throws than that. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's wide open in the NFL, especially with Rodgers. His ability to run and throw on the run is excellent.
Yeah.
There should have been no reason why he doesn't throw that ball to Lazard there.
He has great ability.
With everybody saying how great Rodgers is, I'm wondering, did he tank it? Did he purposely lose?
Well, that's what Zero is. Zero's
Is
pretty
he a
mad.
huge 40? Like he's a 49ers fan. You ever notice? He's 0-4 against the 49ers in the playoffs. Coincidence? His favorite team growing up? Maybe he loves the 49ers yet.
Here's the thing I got to put out there, because there's a lot of fear. Okay, Eckes, and I love you, Eckes, but you're clinging to fear in this case. Nobody ever made a good decision basing it on fear. You're fearing the change. Don't fear the change. The Packers have an opportunity right now. Okay,
Build a team.
Let's talk about the cap situation a little bit, because this is what it means, right? Because right now, what I heard is something I hate to hear, mostly because it's two guys with a lot of money. So if they're going to try to fix this thing with Aaron Rodgers and keep him secure for 2 years, they have to pay him a boatload of dollars. And then if they're going to try to keep Devontae Adams to keep Aaron Rodgers happy and let him do what he wants to do, they're going to have to pay him a boatload of dollars. And in that process, you're going to lose Rasul Douglas, who you need to keep. In my estimation, he's your number one guy you need to sign back. That guy. We have been trying to find corners forever and ever and ever. And I know some people will tell me, well, Eric Stokes looked pretty good. Great. He looked pretty good. But is he going to turn into a great corner? Or we don't know.
He gave up a first down pass on an inside slant to Kittle. And then after the play, he went on 4th down, and he went like this. After the play, he was like, it's me, guys.
It's true. And
then
he
Jair
also
gave up an inside pass to Deebo Samuel on the final drive that led to the game-winning field goal. So,
and he's also not a strong tackler.
No.
And
Douglas is.
And he's a very hesitant tackler. Like, he sits back and waits, which a lot of corners are. I totally get it. But Rasul Douglas
is not.
Tackles guys.
He's tough.
So that's a guy you don't let go. I don't care. I don't know why all the teams passed on him. They're all dumb. You don't let that guy walk out the door. No freaking way. No way. And
he
so
catches balls that are thrown his way.
Yes.
Most
of
the time.
Good hands, good instincts. He's a tackler. He's big. He's bigger and more physical. He was probably one of our best guys on special teams. You know how many special teams tackles he also made? He's one of the only guys that tackles out there. So you can't let that guy go, number one. Number two, Rashawn Gary is 3 years in. All right?
Yeah.
I know he's a first-round pick, and you can use the option and all that, but you're going to have to pay him before too long. Jair's going to command a bunch of money. You got money you got to spend on guys that you need to keep.
Well, Jair's coming up. He's this year.
Yeah, and then on offense, you have Aaron Jones under contract yet, and you have A.J. Dillon on his rookie deal yet. So you're not going to wear one of those guys down too much by becoming a run-heavy team.
Plus, everybody loves Kylan Hill or whatever.
Kylan Hill,
back from his injury. So
right?
if he's
Hopefully
back
he's okay. So, but you need to adjust your offensive line a bit. You got to get a little bit more run blocker type guys. So don't fear the change. Embrace the change of becoming a run first team that then runs play action, which this offense is designed for anyway. That's how this offense has looked at its best under any iteration of it, whatever the head coach was or the offensive architect was. That's when this offense is at its best, because then people fear the run. They fear the jet sweep. They fear the run, the running back this way, up the middle, left, right, what have you, with motion going around. And that's what pulls the linebackers up. And that's what makes easy throws for the quarterback over the top off of play action. But we don't run. How many times do the Packers do play action in this game? Not many.
Not only that, how many times have you seen the Green Bay Packers run the ball on third down and sort of long?
Like the Niners did against the pass.
Like the Niners do all the time. And,
right?
I mean, maybe once in a while. Because I just showed you plays. Fred Warner just runs backwards on third down. He went straight backwards with Dominic Daphne. He didn't even worry about the run on third down and 6.
Mm-hmm.
What if that was an A.J. Dillon up the gut delayed handoff? There's nobody there to stop him. He would have ran for frickin' 8 yards, at least, maybe more. If it was Aaron Jones, maybe he would have got 20. I mean, the thing that bothers me, it's not just like Rodgers is part of the problem, but
right.
so is the play calling. You know what I mean? But Rodgers is that problem. If Jordan Love was the quarterback, Matt LaFleur would be able to run the offense the way he wants to instead of the way Rodgers wants it. Because
exactly.
Rodgers is holding the team hostage. I'm sorry, Eckes. I'm sorry, everybody. I am sick and tired of being held hostage by a prima donna quarterback. We went from Favre to Rodgers. It's been 30 frickin' years of hostage.
Well,
you had
the early years of Favre where it wasn't, and the early years of Rodgers where it wasn't. But once they became established, then it was. And now and that was one thing. And I don't usually watch Colin Cowherd, but he made this point saying they're basically turned into the same guy. Yeah. And it is like, even though they're drastically different personalities, they're doing the same stuff. They're doing the same things at the end of their times in Green Bay and affecting the team in a negative way the same. And I would be a hypocrite, and I hate hypocrites. So I would be a hypocrite because I slammed the hell out of Brett Favre for doing all that crap, for wanting all the special treatment, for jerking the Packers around here and there. And that's what Rodgers is doing? And then you want me to want him back? No way. No way. Done. Move on. Nathaniel Hackett got the job. Try to make a deal with Denver. Give me Quinn Miners back, and I'll take another offensive run-blocking lineman back, too, in that trade.
We need a receiver. We don't need any more offensive linemen.
You probably get a receiver, too. We need more physical offensive linemen, bro, to do this running.
Sign back Lukey Patrick. Everybody thinks he sucks. We can get him on the cheap.
They're not going to sign him back. Lucas Patrick is done. You can get a younger guy who's more physical than him, more physically gifted, and he's my favorite Packer of all time, but you can get Denver has like 8 good offensive linemen. They'll give up 2 for Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me? And you can get some picks, or you might get a receiver and 2 O-linemen for that guy. I don't care. Send Royce Newman over to them if they want an O-lineman back. That's fine. Get his ass out of town.
It's time I have
to happen.
Hey, it's time I have to do a controversial thing. So you got to let me share.
Okay. What do you got? You got to pull it in first. Are you already there? Okay, here we go.
It's already there.
All right. Sorry, Rick agrees that he thinks Rasul would be a good thing. Oh, one other side note as Rick, let's see. Or you're going to do your thing. I just had that question I wanted to bring up before we go.
Well, this is a big thing, so just do what you're going to do.
All right, you go for it. I'm just going to pull up some comments here.
Okay, well, this is a big thing I'm going to say, so really
say it. I'll take comments away. Say it. I'll put you big.
Let's watch this. Don't put me big, and we're watching this video,
okay.
ding dong.
All right, let's watch this video.
Let's watch this Aaron Jones play. Is it working?
Yep.
Look at him. He's streaking down.
Ooh, he's open. Oh, he's got to turn around.
He catches the ball, and for some reason he slows down, tries to push this guy, and falls down and gets tackled.
And doesn't get out of bounds.
And doesn't get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Like you said.
I'm going to say something that I never thought I would say. Aaron Jones is becoming my not favorite Packer. He's my
Player.
favorite play. Yeah, he's
On
my
the
favorite
field.
Packer off the field because he's man of the year, man of the day.
Agreed.
He's starting to do some dumb things. He's starting to run weird. Like, I don't understand why. Catch the ball and just go. Just run fast as you can. And then get out of bounds. But he doesn't do either of those two things. He tries to muscle him. I don't know what was he going to do there. It's like he just lost all sense of brain power. I don't know.
As never being a person who could run fast or be running in the open field, Rick can attest to that. I'm going to say the one thing I think happened there is, so when you actually showed, after he got turned around and got back to running, Tart was basically at the same yard line as him.
Yeah, but he was like 20 yards
and Tart had the angle. So I think
he's
what Jones is trying
away.
to I think what Jones was trying to do was to give him a little bit of his swerve juke move and then maybe get him to, break his stride and then try to accelerate and get away. That's probably what he was thinking. But in that case, in that time of the game, not the best move, not the smartest move, because getting out of bounds would have been better. I have a bigger problem with how the Packers pissed away like 20 some seconds and then just went for the field goal there versus after Aaron Rodgers got fumbled and then
That's why they did it.
They gave the Packers the ball. I was like, dude, you need to run a play. Run a freaking play. And they wasted 20 some seconds. We saw Patrick Mahomes score a field goal, go down the field and get a field goal in 13 seconds. You wasted 20
Aaron Rodgers.
You wasted 20 seconds.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the urgency for some reason. He did against the 49ers in the regular season game, but he didn't in this game for reasons I don't know.
Unbelievable.
But what I'm saying is this. I love Aaron Jones. I'm starting to wonder if it was a smart move to pay him. And that's shocking to me. That's what I'm saying.
Back when you say that.
I'm starting to think that it was a bad move.
Dude.
I'm starting to think maybe Aaron Jones is just a really good running back. And you can find a really good running back in the draft. When he catches balls out of the backfield, he has to catch it and adjust himself and then start going. It's very seldom that he catches it in stride and goes. And maybe it's the quarterback throwing the ball. Maybe it's a little off. I don't know. A.J. Dillon seems to do a better job of catching and just never breaking down his stride. And I'm not just talking deep downfield. I'm talking even on swing passes, on outlet passes, on all kinds of things. And it scares me. I think him as a running back, he's one of the best. Because he doesn't cut like a normal guy. He cuts on his inside leg, and he's able to make runners or defensive backs go wrong this way, go wrong that way.
Right.
But why didn't he just go straight as fast as he could? It's not even that hard to think about. Just run. Just run, dude. You got the open field in front of you, green grass. Just go. And he didn't do it. If he would have scored on that play, we win. That's the thing that is the most disturbing about this game. If Aaron Jones would have scored on that touchdown right there, we win. If just one of 7 things would have just happened, just common sense stuff. You're overrun on one side of the freaking field goal block unit. Get somebody over there to help. Figure it out. Have a plan. We win. Punt return or punt block, whatever. Punt kick. You got 4 guys to block 2, and you got 3 guys to block 4. Hello? You play to win the game. That's what Herm Edwards says. You can't win if you're doing stupid crap like that. That's why it's so frustrating as Packer fans.
Yeah.
It's simple. If any other player, I honest to God, Aaron, what are you doing, Aaron Jones? Just run as fast as you can. And I love Aaron Jones. But I have a new favorite Packer. I have to share something.
Is he under contract?
That's the sad part.
Oh, no.
Give me the share.
All right.
All right. This is the same exact play. But I want you to look over here on the corner. You're going to see a highlighted player.
Why would you not throw to Aaron? You can even throw to Lazard on that one. Oh, sorry. That's
Look at
him.
that right there.
Who's this guy?
Who is that guy?
Who's the guy?
Look
He's
at
my
him.
favorite guy. God, sign him back, please. Sign him.
Now, what I want you to do is we're going to play it again, and I want you to look at the sidelines over here. I want you to look at all the Packers on the sidelines, and watch their demeanor on this play, and then watch 29's demeanor on this play, and see where he was. See where he was standing compared to everybody else. He hasn't been on the field this whole time. Look at it all in parkas, standing there, freezing. Look at Rasul. He is fired up. He's go, Aaron Jones. Rasul Douglas would have caught that and ran as fast as he could. He understands.
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas.
And that's a guy who won a Super Bowl just a couple years ago. None of these other guys have won a Super Bowl except for Aaron Rodgers and
Mason Crosby. Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, look at Douglas. Look at him. Look at how high he gets off the ground. Son of a gun.
God, I want that guy on my team so bad.
Aaron Jones is still one of my favorite Packers, but he has been replaced. And I hate to say it. I never thought I would say that. I never thought that as long as Aaron Jones was on this team, that he would ever be outdone by somebody else. But once a guy gets paid, Nico always says this, I hate guys that make a bunch of money. Not that I hate him, but the underdogs are always my guy.
Expectations go up then once you get
And
paid.
if Rasul Douglas gets signed back for a big contract and stinks next year,
He's gotta keep
turn
being
on
good.
his ass just as fast. Well, I didn't turn on Aaron Jones. I still love him. Don't get me wrong. But I'm starting to think maybe Dorsey Levens is my favorite all-time running back of the Packers. He always has been. I think he's a better receiver out of the backfield than Aaron Jones. I like his size a little more. I think
Go
he's
back
just
to
the
that
best
zero,
combination of running back / pile driver, receiver out of the backfield. He just had the injuries and stuff that hurt him, and that kind of derailed his whole career. But
Yeah, he had William Henderson that hurt him.
well, yeah, that doesn't help either. When your fullback in front of you sucks at blocking.
Pro Bowl William Henderson.
But anyways,
Well,
that's my
what?
controversial statement that I had to say.
Wow.
That Aaron Jones is no longer my favorite Packer. He's
Well,
my second favorite Packer. He might even be my third favorite Packer.
I already
And I'll
made my controversial statement.
Oh, wait.
I said you got to get rid of Lucas. You can't sign him back.
Really? Because I got to show you something. I got to show you my second favorite Packer.
We're gonna get to zero. We'll get to that next comment because it's something
And
I've
one second,
said,
hold on, one
I've said a
second.
bunch of times before, and I believe it. I still believe it.
Share it. Let me share.
Oh, sorry, bro. Sorry, you got it in there. My bad. There you go. There's your favorite double team blocks.
Look at this. Look at this double team. But here's the thing I want you to look at. Look at this giant hole,
Yeah, big ass.
and
one.
look at Fred Warner. Look at Fred Warner in this hole.
It's right there.
This is a Pro Bowl all-time inside linebacker, third-round pick, who's going to make a whole bunch of money. Everybody says he is. I mean, there are people arguably the best inside linebacker in football right now, right?
Why doesn't he attack that right away? What is he doing?
Well, here's the thing. He's in the hole, right?
He didn't know he was gonna get Lucas.
He's thinking he's got this play. But you're right. And it's going to speed up, and you're going to watch Lucas just like he's shot out of a cannon. He secures a double-team block and then shoots out of a cannon. You tell me, Bruce, A.J. Dillon made this running touchdown? No. Lukey Patrick made this running touchdown. Watch this. It's going to get going here in a second. Here it comes.
That's what I said during the game. That
I
was
got
Lucas's
it in
touchdown.
slow motion.
Okay.
Here we go. Watch this. And now watch Lukey after. Look at him.
Yeah,
He's
he knows what he did.
He's flexing. Look at him.
He knows what he did.
Lukey Patrick is the only reason the Packers scored a touchdown in the playoffs this year.
Look at that
Think
big
of-
shot he put on that guy. He knocked him back. Is that
I
Armstead?
know. Yes, it is a first-round pick.
And then he's so good at. God damn it, he's so good.
And you want to let him go.
I
You want to
do,
have not
because-
signed him back.
He's almost
That's-
30.
Who
and
cares?
They're gonna
Look at him on this play.
I know he's awesome.
He's the reason we scored, dude.
I know.
Double team block. Get off the ball. Beat up the linebacker. Running back's got an easy touchdown. That's Lukey Patrick's play, dude. I could have scored a touchdown on that play.
There, I don't want to
That-
see him. I don't want to see him go through the same BS as last training camp. And
Listen.
I don't want to see it.
Well, someone's going to get a really good player.
Hey, Chris Sand is here for the first time. How are you, Chris? He says, "Go Pack, go" from North Carolina. Welcome in. We're a little bummed, but we're speaking some truth because that's what we do on this show. Sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes there's some hard truths we got to eat as Packers fans. But Ben just showed a very awesome celebratory play by my favorite Packer of all time, Lucas Patrick. You may know who he is. You may not. Most people don't. Our nephew doesn't know who he is.
Oh, that's not nice. All right,
I love this. I love that when I asked him about his favorite offensive lineman, he's like,
Yeah, I don't know any of those guys.
Most
he's 8
people
years
would.
old. When I
Most
was 8
people
or 9
would.
years old, I didn't know anything either. What the hell?
You
All I
knew
knew
he-
was John
he knew
Jefferson and Paul
Right,
Kaufman. That's
right,
all, and,
right.
and James Lofton and Lynn Dickey, and I don't know anybody else.
Oh, man.
I think I knew Eddie Lee Ivory because his name was cool to say. Eddie Lee Ivory. Otherwise, I didn't know anybody else.
Zero thinks we could have kept running all game long, but they wanted to throw it. And maybe
right, Zero.
we don't know.
No, we do know. Don't say we don't know. We know exactly why.
We don't know
When your
enough.
quarterback wants to pass and wants to change the play all the time, it's dumb.
Look, I love Lucas, and I'm just saying, like, if you got an opportunity to get another strong young offensive line, and you know I want Quinn Miners. Here's my plan for the Packers, right? If they make this move and get Rodgers dealt out to Denver,
Well, Denver was asked today in the press conference.
you have to get Miners because you got some fan base issues there. You got some
Yeah.
Rodgers loyalists.
Yep.
You need a guy who's going to take the spotlight and all the fans will just grab onto and love. And
Yep.
that is the gut. A guy who's from Wisconsin, who went to Whitewater, who's does the gut, who blows people up on running plays for Denver after he didn't get to start and does all the stuff he does. You need that guy. He'll grab that whole fan base. They'll all be back on board and they'll be excited to run the ball. Right? Because we've seen passing since the days of Amon Green, right? And now, except for LaFleur's first year where we saw a lot more running and less passing.
Heck yeah, we did. We saw that was the most complete offense the Packers had was 2019.
But this team, to get people excited about the running game again, you need exciting offensive linemen. And that's what Quinn Miners is. Come on home, bring him back. Let's get the deal done. Nathaniel Hackett is an awesome dude. I'm glad he finally got a chance to get a head coaching job. Let's give him some love. He's an awesome dude.
He's
I
awesome.
love the guy. He's great. Actually, he doesn't deserve Aaron Rodgers. Or Aaron Rodgers doesn't deserve him.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't deserve him. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers does not deserve to work for a guy like that. But if that's what it takes or helps to get him over there and get the deal done and shift to a run-heavy team, and we're going to make the game easier for our quarterback instead of having our quarterback make the game harder for our offense, then by all means, get it done. But in the process, bring Quinn Miners over. Please, please, please. Get that done, Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
that's all I can say. I watched.
and Lucas
Nathaniel
probably
Hackett's
doesn't
press
start.
conference today.
Lucas probably. What happened?
I watched
Hackett's press conference?
Hackett's press conference today.
Oh, what did he
He
say?
said awesome about 12 times. And
He's such
what
a
else did
funny
he
guy.
say? He
I
said
love
cool.
Hackett.
He said cool a couple times.
Yeah.
They asked him if one of the reporters was like, "Hey, we know you like Star Wars. Who's a character who's most like you? We're gonna try to understand, what kind of coach you're gonna be." And he's like, "Well, I'm kind of suave and debonair, so I'd be Han Solo." Actually, he said Han Solo, and then he said Han, and then he said Han.
He got
So he's-
confused
he's
by
got-
Billy D. Williams.
He's got a little Billy D. Williams mess up there, but
Well, he got confused by him.
I know.
Everybody got
Well, everybody
confused.
else did. There's only one actor in all of Star Wars, and that's Mark Hamill, who always calls him Han Solo. Even Harrison Ford calls himself Han, I think, one time. Billy D. Williams even confused him. But anyways, but I mean, it was just a really funny. It was a pretty, charismatic press conference. And then they asked the GM. They're like, "Hey, well, was part of the deal about getting Hackett the fact that maybe there's some other possible moves at the Packer, stealing from the Packers?" And then he's like, "No, but
That's good.
we know, we know
Well,
we know what it is."
I mean,
We
Chris
know what it
Sims.
is.
Did you hear Chris Sims talk about Hackett this week? So
Yeah,
I
just said
listened.
he's a regular guy.
No, well, I listened to that because he worked. Hackett was like his coach at some stops, so he got to
No,
know
his
him.
dad was.
His dad was, but he got to know Nathaniel Hackett pretty well, and all this sort of stuff. And at some team Chris Sims was on, Hackett was on the staff, and he's talking about he's a smart offensive coach. He knows all of his stuff. He just wasn't a guy that like put himself out there enough and made enough noise and attention on himself to kind of politic and elevate his name in the coaching ranks in the NFL. And he was worried he was never get a shot. And he was so glad to see that he could. And the other move, I mean, people brought this up. Nathaniel Hackett made Blake Bortles look good one year.
No kid.
He was, I mean, so if you can do that, you can probably work with whatever quarterback. So the Broncos are probably like, yeah, maybe it's a possibility and it helps their case. But if they don't get Rodgers, they got to feel good like he can get a young quarterback in here, fix him up, and
maybe he can fix up what's his face, Locke or whatever, Drew Locke that they have, who's supposed to be Mr. Big Arm, but he does crazy dumb crap. He's like Brett Favre. Yeah. So maybe they think he can fix Drew Locke. I know this much. Teddy Bridgewater is not the answer. Teddy Bridgewater sucks. I don't know why why does Teddy Bridgewater keep getting chances?
Teddy two gloves. You can never trust the quarterback that wears the glove on the right hand.
Well, I mean, Carolina gave him a chance, and they gave up on him after 1 year. And now Denver gave him a chance for some stupid reason, and they're giving up on him. He sucks. He sucked when he was at the Vikings. He wouldn't throw more than 2 yards downfield. It was like I was always happy. I was like, oh, all right, Teddy's playing. We're good. No need to worry about covering anybody more than 10 yards downfield. That's why he was perfect with the Saints.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He just played exactly the same as Drew Brees. So, like, just give it to Alvin Kamara. He runs real fast. Okay. Actually, I don't know, but whatever. I'm just I'm hoping that Hackett gets Getsy, and then that way for sure Rodgers is gone because Getsy that's Rodgers' guy. That's Rodgers' buddy. That's the only reason why Getsy got that quarterback job, and that was back when McCarthy was still there, was because Rodgers wanted that guy. That was his buddy. He wanted his buddy to be his quarterback coach. And that's part of the problem as well. I don't think Rodgers is getting coached properly.
No.
I don't think Rodgers is getting, like when he makes a mistake. How many mistakes have we shown throughout the years, of the last 2 or 3 years, that should have been coached out of him? I don't think he's getting coached at all. Not even in the play, like nothing. He's just like, whatever. They just let him do whatever. And they're like, oh, well, he's been in the league for so long. He can do whatever. And then the other thing that bothers me is, and I know they have to do this, but LaFleur and Goody just
everybody laying it on
thick for Rodgers. I mean, come on. If that's what you're doing, I don't want. He's already holding you hostage. It's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse if he comes back and they don't trade him. I mean, it's pretty much his team. I mean, LaFleur might as well just. Right. Let him call the damn place. Just screw it.
Exactly.
Just let him do whatever he wants. Like, don't even bother doing anything because he's going to do whatever he wants anyways.
Let him run whatever offense he wants to run. If he wants to run the old Mickey offense and whatever, then fine and call the plays. Right. You're exactly right. Here's the one question I have in my mind, and I want to pose to you and anybody else that's in here. If you're Matt LaFleur, you know what's happened, right? I mean, all the guys on the team know, but you know what play you called. A bunch of the other guys aren't going to know what play you called.
That's right.
But you know what play you called, and you know what was actually run. Now, I respected – there were a lot of things about Mike McCarthy I didn't respect. One thing I respected about Mike McCarthy is what he did when Brett Favre came back and wanted his job back, and the whole team was trying to move on. And McCarthy stood up to Favre. Because a bunch of guys could have caved and been like, okay, you're the superstar, blah, 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 whatever you want. Okay, fine. You all that. But McCarthy said after that, he made a public statement that was very, very eye-opening. It told me what I needed to know, which is he said we sat down, we talked to Brett, because if you recall, McCarthy's first year, Favre was terrible and the team was terrible.
Yep.
And then McCarthy was like, hell no. Yeah. We're not doing this anymore. Like, you've been doing it your way for a while. You've had these coaches who let you do whatever you want. That's not going to fly. This is my first gig. I can't suck. Like, you're going to practice. I know you're a good quarterback. You're going to practice. You're going to put the time in. You're going to do film work. You're going to be here. And then what happened? Favre had one of his best seasons as a Packer, right?
Yep.
And then he wanted to come back. And they got him to retire. They're going to move on. He wants to come back. And McCarthy said, after talking with Favre, he's like, I didn't hear what I needed to hear.
No, he asked him, are you going to put in? Right. Are you going to put in the work? And Favre was like,
Well, he just said, I didn't hear the answer I needed to hear.
Right.
So we had to make a decision.
But
to
the
move
other
on.
thing was they had Rodgers, who proved in
I understand.
practice
I
that he
understand.
could run the offense, and he was smart, and he had all the talent in the world.
But they
We
did
have
not
Jordan
have-
Love.
They
Jordan
did not
Love.
have. I understand that. But they did not have the running game that this team could have,
Yeah, but
or the backs that this team has,
But they had a quarterback, which is
and
the
the
most
offensive
important position on the team.
philosophy.
And they had a guy who they knew could run the plays, and they knew has a very talented arm, and they knew was really freaking good.
So
And we have Jordan Love. So LaFleur can't afford to do that because we have a guy we don't know what he is.
he's built up some pretty good. He's built up some pretty good credibility and some goodwill now, right?
Who?
Matt LaFleur, by winning all these games in his first 3 seasons.
But everybody says it's Rodgers.
I don't care. He's built it up. The division stinks, right? The division stinks. You have 2 new coaches in the division already. You got teams that don't know what the hell they're doing in Minnesota and Chicago. And then you have the Lions who are sticking with their guy, but they're so depleted, it's going to take them a little while to get better. So you have all of that. What I want from Matt LaFleur now is to do what Mike McCarthy did. Now, Mike McCarthy had more, like you said, Mike McCarthy had Rodgers to fall back on so he could be more bold. LaFleur doesn't have that, but LaFleur does have a good run game. His offensive scheme, which could work off of a run game. And maybe he goes to Gutekunst is like, hey, we got to get another quarterback in here if we're going to do this that can, run the offense, be efficient, not screw up too much if Jordan doesn't work out, whatever. But I think I want to see Matt LaFleur if he gets, because he knows what happened, dude. That's what I'm saying to you. He knows how many plays Rodgers changed or didn't change or whatever. And as
yet
you're
he's
the
still
head coach,
buttering him up.
and you're the head coach and play caller, so you know everything that went down.
But he's still buttering him up.
Now it's your time to stand up. And
He won't.
if you want to give him the chance, to say, look, we can't do this anymore this way because we've gotten into the playoffs. We've come up short every year. So we're going to start doing it my way. I want your input, but we're going to start running the plays I call. And if you're not going to do that, then this isn't going to work anymore.
That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's
But
what
I
I
don't
want to
think
see.
he will.
And if Rodgers gives him, okay, I'll do it, and they figure something out, then whatever.
The only
fine.
way LaFleur
But
can
he
do
does
that
it-
is if he's got the backing of Murphy.
yeah.
And I don't know if after this
Murphy's
whole
already-
past offseason, I know Murphy doesn't like Rodgers, but I'm telling you, I'm thinking after this whole offseason, they're all playing defensive. Rodgers has got the upper hand.
Of course he does. I said it a while ago to everybody that Rodgers is going to decide how this goes, unless LaFleur stands up. Rodgers has all the power right now. He's going to decide when he stops playing in Green Bay. He's going to decide which team he goes to if he leaves
Well, it's Denver.
in a trade.
If he leaves, he's going to Denver.
How about this though? What if he wants to go to Pittsburgh?
He doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh.
And the reason I say that is because Roethlisberger just retired.
Yeah.
Right?
but
If he goes to Denver, where they've had crappy quarterbacks forever, of course he can go in there and be way better and all this sort of stuff. But do you think he wants to be the Peyton Manning reboot for Denver personally for him? Or do you think he would like to follow another legendary quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, and go in and show that he's better than the quarterback who you had this whole time and go and play in Pittsburgh instead?
I don't know. All I know is this.
I think his ego might like that better, but anyway.
I want to see Aaron Rodgers go to Denver
Okay.
and have to play Justin Herbert twice and have to play Derek Carr twice and have to play Patrick Mahomes twice and see how good he does then. Because it's not going to be this Teddy Bridgewater, Matthew Stafford, Jay Cutler crap like he's been having for the last 10 years, where he goes to go up against a quarterback who's either inferior, takes too many chances, got a strong arm, but he takes too many chances, or a guy who just doesn't give a crap, and Jay Cutler, right? No.
Yep.
He's had no freaking rivals his whole career in Green Bay. The division's had no rival quarterbacks at all. Kirk Cousins is the closest thing who might be able to maybe do something, and he can't do it unless the play is run perfectly. Then he can make a perfect pass. Otherwise, Christian Ponder, yeah. Christian Ponder. Travaris Jackson, really awesome. I mean, come on. Think about and that's the other thing. I want to think about the quarterbacks that Aaron Rodgers has won against in the playoffs. Can you name them?
Matty Ice.
Matty Ice, really great.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler / whatever that Taylor Heineke or whatever his name was.
Old
Heinrich.
Michael Vick.
Old Michael Vick coming off the bench. Who else? Yeah, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson one time.
Roethlisberger. I'm just thinking the time they actually got it done. It was those quarterbacks. Michael Vick.
No, but just any playoff wins.
Right. I understand.
He beat Travers Jackson, I think, when they would never pass the ball more than 2 yards. That one time they played the Vikings in the playoffs.
Couldn't win when they had to go against Colin Kaepernick, Everett. Now, that wasn't
Couldn't beat
necessarily his
Kaepernick.
fault, but
Still couldn't do it.
yep, couldn't
Got
get it done.
creamed by Matt Ryan the second time.
Oh,
Just
that was ugly as
destroyed.
hell.
They didn't do anything, and he gave up.
Woo!
Go watch the sidelines of Rodgers in that Atlanta playoff.
Here's a hot one from Zero. Speaking of Matty Ice, could he
Actually-
regain some magic?
Matty Ice could regain magic in the flip. Now that's a trade.
I don't think he could do it outdoors though in Green Bay in the cold.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's
Matty
something
Ice
Zero.
sucks.
That's something that Zero brought up, and it's something that I have said for years, and I've gotten all this pushback about how I'm crazy and I'm stupid and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You want the number 1 seed, you want that home playoff game. Why? You want that home playoff game if you have a run heavy and defensive football team that can play in that weather. But when you have a quarterback and you're a pass first team, that stuff sucks. It's not easy. Jordy Nelson was really good in the snow. We don't have Greg Jennings was really good in the snow. We've had
James
guys
Jones
at times,
was good
James
in the
Jones, Donald Driver. But the guys we have now are not great in the snow for receivers. And Rodgers is good at throwing in cold conditions most of the time, sure. But it doesn't make your passing game better. Like this team in good weather conditions probably would not have lost that game. They would have been able to pass the ball better. They probably would have, hit a lot of big plays. They would have been able to do a lot more in not these conditions. And I've said it. And the other thing that happens is the graphic you showed or the play you showed with Jones, that was a huge play. The hugest play of the game. Big longest pass play for Aaron Rodgers this whole season. Just a side note. And you had one guy that was jumping up and down. Everybody else is huddling like this because these guys don't want to play in that crap either.
I know.
They don't want to be in it. You don't want to tackle people when it's that cold. No. Look, what is the Packers' playoff record? 7-7 since they were broken by Michael Vick. 7-7 at Lambeau Field. Is that an advantage? No. But if you build a team that's a run-first team and a defensive team, and they come out next year, then I'll say, yeah, then let's get the home playoff game. But with this guy as a quarterback, no. He plays better in a dome. He plays better when the field conditions are good. He can light you up. So that's the version of football I wanted to see. That's why I kind of have said this before, and people gave me all this pushback, telling me I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. It's been proven. 7-7 in the last 14 home playoff games.
I guess Zero saying that was Joe Webb, not
Joe Webb.
Tavares Jackson. You're right. That's
Joe
even
Webb.
worse. That's a guy who's a wide receiver playing quarterback.
Who did
Either
we
way,
face?
it was a quarterback who sucked. That's all I know.
Joe Webb.
And Rodgers
Rick-
lost to Jimmy G twice.
Jimmy G 2 times. Woo! Kaepernick,
mean-
man, those 49er quarterbacks that weren't very good really took down Rodgers' teams and our teams. Dang it. I don't like it, but it happened.
And who did he beat? Jared Goff with the Rams. Is that really a challenge?
Russell
Listen.
Wilson, we had nothing else except him on the team last year, right?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, my bad.
Well, they almost lost that if it wasn't for Chad Sullivan spying on him, and then
Yep.
Preston Smith getting sacked. That was a great, awesome play by those two guys.
So
Anyways,
I don't want to hear any more about that, about me telling me I'm crazy on that, because I'm not.
Nobody thinks you're crazy. It's just Packer fans think that there's some crazy mystique with Lambeau Field, that they're like, we're going to win no matter what. And you have to understand what the team is built for. The team is built for passing, getting ahead, and then letting your pass rushers go crazy. And that's not what a cold weather team should want to do. And because we've had these great quarterbacks all these years, everybody wants to, force it into the quarterbacks. And it's like, let's get behind a team. This year was fun to have Rasul Douglas, who's making plays and saving games and doing crazy crap. I showed Olivia today. I was watching. Olivia's my daughter. I was watching Rasul Douglas's press conference today. It was from Monday, but I finally watched it today. And Olivia was downstairs. She got done with school, came down because they had home classes for the last couple of weeks because they were spiking COVID in Minnesota. So they're like, everybody stay home for 2 weeks or whatever. Anyways, she came down. She's like, "Who's that guy?" I'm like, "That's the guy. That's like the MVP of the Packers. He pretty much saved their season." She's like, "What? I don't even know who that is." But she only knows like Randall Cobb and Aaron Jones, and she only knows the stars. She knows Randall Cobb because that was her favorite player like 7 years ago when she was a really little kid. But anyways, and I'm like, this dude like single-handedly won 3 games for us, like in the course of like 4 weeks. The guy didn't even play. He only played like 10 or 11 games, made the Pro Bowl, was nowhere to be found. And then she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Here, we're going to watch his." I found this thing. It was like Rasul Douglas's highlights of 2021. And so we watched that. And then I'm like, "Look at that pass breakup." And she's like, "Ah." And I'm like, "That's an awesome play. What he just did right there is an awesome play." Then he had the interception at the end of the Cardinals. And she's like, "Oh, well, okay." And then all of a sudden, the next play was like, pick 6, touchdown. And I'm like going, I'm like, "Pick 6." And then next I was like, "Watch this one. Pick, interception." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Watch this one. Pick 6, touchdown." And I was like, she's like, "What?" And then there was the Browns game. He had 2 picks against Baker Mayfield. And she's like, he's intercepted everything. I'm like, yes, he's the savior of the team. And like, when do people are going to realize, like, that's the MVP, not the quarterback. Rasul Douglas should win MVP of the league because he single-handedly won 3 freaking games with interceptions. That Browns game, the Packers should have lost. The Browns were moving the ball. The Packers could not stop them. The Packers were up by 2 points with 42 seconds left, and Rasul Douglas picked off Baker Mayfield for the 4th time. It was his second pick interception, but Baker Mayfield's 4th. That's the difference. Think about it. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers who's the MVP. How many times did the Packers offense stall and stink? And how many times did Rasul Douglas break up a pass on 3rd down? Get an interception. Make an awesome tackle. Get stuck covering 2 guys for some dumb reason because the Packers defense was all stupid. And yeah, he gave up a touchdown one time. Well, he had to cover 2 guys. That's like asking Tyler Lancaster to block 3 guys on a field goal. It's dumb. So, but Rasul Douglas is awesome. I think Tyler Lancaster's awesome. There's a bunch of really good, cool guys on this team that might not be here next year. And you want to sign back Rodgers and Adams, the 2
for like $70 million
spoiled,
bucks
rotten, Ronnie, like pieces of crap. Yeah, you want to sign those 2 guys? You could sign back Douglas, Lancaster, Tunyon. You know,
Lazard.
you probably can't. Lazard, you probably
MVS.
can't get MVS for sure. He has done jack squat for. I don't know if I want to sign back MVS. I'm starting to.
Well, if he can stay healthy, I think he's. Look, come on, he's a guy that knows the offense. He's
You
a guy
can
that's
draft a guy
fast.
listen. You can draft a guy who's fast in the 5th round who can't catch. You can just draft another fast guy in the 5th round who can't catch and just have him run straight. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but
He's
that
not a
guy's probably
game
not going to
changer.
block. He's probably not going to block. He is
Okay,
a game
that's true.
changer. If they had him in this last game, I think they would have done better. I think they would have
Maybe.
threatened the 49ers defense more.
Here's the other thing that bothers me about this last game. We didn't see any like crazy play calls. We didn't see any crazy formations. We didn't see A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones on the field at the same time other than one play. Why? Like I showed you a play just now or today on 3rd and 6 where Dominic Daphne just ran straight. Wouldn't it maybe have been better to take him out and put Aaron Jones in there and have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in there and have Aaron Jones like run a route or something? I don't know. He's a more dynamic player than Dominic Daphne. I'm not saying Dominic Daphne's a bad player, but this is the playoffs. You got to like call everything you've got. And then not only that, and that's fine. Maybe the first half you're doing that, okay. But in the second half, when it's realizing this is a close game, you're going to have to make a play of some kind. We saw no cool plays. We saw no play action. We saw no route combinations that got guys open. I don't know.
I don't think it is, Rick. I don't think it is like rebuilding. And
It's
I know
not
Rodgers,
rebuilding.
Rodgers came out right away and was like, I don't want to be part of a rebuild, like immediately. And who knows why he says that publicly.
Well,
but
the funny thing is, I think if they keep Aaron Rodgers, it's a rebuild.
yeah, because you don't have money.
Right.
You don't.
Then you have to find a bunch of young, inexpensive players.
Here's my other point, and I don't remember if I said this last week or not, so I apologize if I did, but it's fine. People that talk on shows like this, you say the same stuff from time to time because you got to reemphasize your point. You got to, like McCarthy, reemphasize and train, and then it comes around. So I don't think Aaron Rodgers going to a new team works for that team the way they think it's going to work.
But
because
we don't
if
want
he
them to know that, so shut up.
Because if he wants to,
Keep your mouth shut.
Well, no, now he has a guy in Hackett who will let him do whatever. I mean, unless you're going to Peyton Manning him and just be like, okay, you're here now. Whatever you want to call an offense is what we do. And that's fine if that's your approach. But if you want him to come in and learn your offense and you want him to work with your guys and not his guys, I don't think it works. But now Denver can work because you got Nathaniel Hackett there. So now you have an opening.
Well, maybe the other thing is Hackett has seen what's happened behind the scenes. Maybe he doesn't want Rodgers.
Yeah,
Think
but he'll
about that.
But he'll take all the wins to help him in his early coaching career to kind of beef up his resume a little bit, so he's got a little longer leash. It doesn't matter.
Against Derek Carr twice and Justin Herbert twice and Patrick Mahomes twice. That's 6 losses, buddy. I don't care who you're quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not going to win those against those guys.
I know, but they'll still get to play. They'll still get to play a whole bunch of other teams that stink, and they'll get wins. So anyway, the point is, I just think about that. Think about how particular Rodgers is. Think about how he wants guys to always be on the same page as him, how he likes to change stuff all the time. You take him to a team with Denver where receivers are not used to doing that, it's not going to work out great, at least for a while. It's going to be rough. And I don't know. So I don't think like people thinking, oh, we're just going to get him and he's going to make our team the best. Well, if he's planning on being coachable and learning the offense like everybody else knows it, then sure, yeah. But if he's not going to do that and stay with the same attitude that he has now, it doesn't work. Now, one other point.
Yeah.
Here, this is something interesting because I think, too, about Aaron Rodgers. I have not seen him, attack, sling the ball, go toe-to-toe in these high-flying games. You just watch the crazy ending of that Bills-Chiefs game. And granted, the Bills did like the dumbest defensive play calls you could possibly have to give, the Chiefs the field goal attempt there. Like, not to mention making a decision to not kick the ball where they have to return it and take time off the clock, which also makes zero sense. Like if you would have got them to take some time off the clock, they'd only have time for like one play and then a field goal or one play and a heave to the end zone. That's it. But no. You gave them the ball to 25 with no time coming off the clock and then gave them a one play to midfield and they had all their timeouts. So not a big deal. Anyway, what happened in that game, what's happened in some of these other games is some of these younger quarterbacks have shown you they'll just attack, and these offenses will just attack, and they'll attack the middle of the field. They'll attack wherever the hell they want and put up points like crazy. And I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers play football like that in quite some time. So is he going to all of a sudden start to play football like that where it's riskier, where it could be picked off, could be intercepted?
No.
And if he doesn't, he can't keep up with these other guys.
There's no way he will because he is hanging on to that touchdown to interception ratio. That's his calling card. As long as he has that, that's the one thing he's got more than any other quarterback who's ever played. Okay? And there's nobody anywhere near him. Yeah. Though Patrick Mahomes is close, but this year he's got did a couple dumb freaking passes and got some more picks and not quite as good. And he knows he can never catch Brady as far as Super Bowl wins. So he wants to be known for something. The greatest talent of all time. The highest touchdown interception ratio of all time. And that's why he will not take chances. He will not. And it's about time that he either gets a coach who tells him, dude, throw the freaking ball. The guy's open. What are you doing? Or sit him down. And I saw that, like, I think he has some sort of veto power on his trade, like where he wants to go, but I don't know if that's the case. Zero's talking about maybe.
He wants him to go to the Jets where they have like no offensive line and get destroyed. Zero's pretty pissed.
That's what would happen if he went to the Steelers too. They have no offensive line.
Yeah.
But I want to see him go to Denver because, first of all, they have players I would want, right? Back. Right. And then he's got to go against Mahomes twice every year and Herbert twice every year. And that makes me happy because I don't think he can beat those guys. And I just want him gone. I don't care anymore. If he's there next year, if they freaking do some crap and extend him, I'm done.
No, just wait.
I'm done.
Tell me, if they give him a crap load of money, like Mike Florio said earlier this week, just give him $50 million a year because that's where the market's going. Because right now he's making Jared Goff money, right? Still,
way too much money.
I know, but that's where the
these
market.
Owners have to stop this crap with these $50 million, $45 million. Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
It's insane.
All the quarterbacks bring.
It's crazy that you have a guy in your team who makes, like, your head coach
20-some% of your salary
like
cap,
like $5 million a year,
right?
And your quarterback makes 5 times that?
10 times that, yeah.
Well, 10 times if they give him the $50 million a year thing, which Florio's talking about.
Which is
crazy.
Which is where the market is.
No.
It's where it's going, bro.
Stop giving him all that money. Look at the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. You think they regret paying him all that money when he's playing like crap? Pretty sure. Look at how much money we had sitting on the bench this whole year with Zadarius Smith and Bakhtiari.
How many?
That's what, $45 million this year sitting on the freaking bench. You could use that money for anybody.
I want Bruce to run the numbers on that. How much did the Packers pay per play between Zadarius Smith and David Bakhtiari this year? How much money did they pay per play out of those guys? Because this guy got paid a lot for plays in games.
It's crazy.
The only reason I want to say this, what if they do what they said, give him $50 million and then also sign his blanket Devontae back?
Then I think change the show to Hafeman Brothers.
Then I'm out.
Lion outright opinions. We'll
I know we Lions fans. The Lions are like us. They are. Come on, they're the underdog team. Everybody, they stink. They're not that great. They're not as good as they want to believe they are. But
listen,
sometimes they get some motivational speeches from one of the guys. That's you.
Yeah. I got more excited watching the Lions beat the Vikings in that game, because I watched that game, and seeing Jared Goff, after he threw that touchdown to St. Brown, he sprinted to Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And hugged him. They were 0-9 or whatever. I think they might have a tie or something there. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But I mean, that tells you all you need to know. That's a team that they just were like a bunch of cool dudes. Like, like Jamal Williams fit that team to a T.
Right.
He's not my favorite Packer of ever, but he's an awesome, funny guy. And you can't deny the feel-good story of a team that believes in each other and just works hard. And maybe they stink. And maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. Like, I would rather go to that than go to like a team like the Giants, who look like just a mess. You know what I mean? And guys, and like they're not working together, or like the Jaguars, like it seems like the team's not even a team. Like the head coach doesn't know what he's doing. He's he doesn't start their running back because he's mad at them or whatever. Yeah. Eric Dahl, yeah. Bakhtiari might be out for a long time. He might be done. His career may be over.
Think about that. Think about if you put all that money into Rodgers and Adams, and then you still have that money in Bakhtiari, who
for another 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is.
Man, you could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, that's why, yes, we want this change for many reasons, but a number of them are actually good for the Packers' future. and longevity. Like, because otherwise we're going to be in rough shape with all this money and aging players that have shown you that when it comes down to doing the right thing and getting it done when you need it to get done, they don't come through.
Well, the thing that bothers me
Just don't.
with all these quarterbacks making so much money is like,
I know you hate it. Everybody hates it.
I understand, like, the quarterbacks are important and they're really important to win. But when you look at the Super Bowl quarterbacks over the last 12, 13 years, they've all. I think we did a show last year, and I showed like the percentage of the salary cap that the quarterbacks were under,
right,
or whatever, and they were all under like 12% or something like that of the salary cap. And like Aaron Rodgers, if you give him $50 million, that's like 25. That's like 23% of the salary cap, or even more. It's stupid.
Especially if you add Adams' big contract.
What's the thing?
With
Is
it.
Adams that much better than every other receiver on the team? Does taking him, like, people talk about the win, I can't remember what they call it, but like win above replacement or whatever. Like if this guy was not in there and his replacement was in there, how many more wins do you get from playing the star as opposed to playing the backup in football? And they said there's no single player in the NFL that's not a quarterback who is his win above replacement is like maybe like 0.25% of a win. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Donald is the only player, I guess, who's like worth like one win or 0.75 wins more above the replacement for him because he's such a great, awesome player. Quarterbacks, sometimes you can have like one or two wins above replacement or whatever. So you're telling me you're going to pay a guy 25, 30% of your salary cap, 40% of your salary cap to get one more win? That doesn't make any sense. Because you're not really like getting the one more win. Because then you add up all the percentages of the other players who are bad and their win above replacement. You know what I'm saying? What if you could sign a bunch of really good players? And all these star players who maybe are only like 0.25% above a replacement, right? But you've got all your starters are giving you 0.25% above replacement. What does that equal out to? 2.75 more wins above replacement. And you're paying way less money for a starting really good caliber linebacker, really good caliber offensive lineman who's not a left tackle, crazy money. And not only that, you could have your backup. The difference between your starter and your backup aren't as different in the case where all of a sudden your team falls apart because you had a superstar at this position, and then he goes down, and then you got nothing. I don't know. I would just rather see a team of guys who are awesome.
12. Me too. Packers fan 12.
They're not even a regular season team, though. They're a regular season, big play, barely squeak out victory team.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I will say this: the way they have played in the last several years, Aaron Rodgers has made a difference in winning games versus losing games because they were in that position where they needed plays to be made and him to pull out stuff out of his, some of the time. But you don't have to be in those positions. Like if you have a good team that's playing good defense throughout the game, and you have you control the ball, and you have a productive run game, and you have easy play action pass plays off of that, like you can have a lead. You can win a game going away. Like you can dominate a game. And I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, it's all exciting when it comes down to the wire and all that stuff, but I'm good with just steamrolling some teams too. So you're right. Now I will buck you on that one. I don't know who made up all that stuff, but they forgot that Lucas Patrick was actually a +2 in wins starting at center over his replacement this year, but that's fine. They undervalue him. Everybody undervalues him. He's probably the most valuable, most wins added to your team if you have that guy starting for you versus not. Just heads up. At center, though, I think he's a better center than he is a guard at this point.
Really?
Yep. As long as he can double team dudes and then scrape off, he's the best. Best in the league at double team scrape off.
Why don't you give me a share?
Best in the league, double team scrape
Why
off.
don't you give me a share?
Well, I know he's great, but this is double team scrape off.
And he's playing guard.
Double team scrape off.
Playing guard. Let's watch him again. Double team. Look at Fred Warner thinks he's got A.J. Dillon dead to rights, and then get out of here. And then Luka Patrick turns around and frickin' does his arm. Right
And he wants to
Fred
celebrate
Warner's
with Aaron
face.
Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers celebrates with Billy Turner. What
Who
did Billy
nothing-
Turner
he
do?
did nothing on that play.
Let's check Billy Turner.
Okay, we'll watch Billy Turner. Oop,
Watch it again. It's such a great play. I'll watch it 100 times. So
I'll watch it 100 times too. It's the only good play of the whole game. Billy Turner got a hands to the face. That should have been a penalty on him.
He could have.
Jesus Christ, that could have been a penalty. What an idiot.
And he treated it like a pass block there. He didn't move the line of scrimmage one bit. Sorry, excuse me.
One
Yeah,
butt
that's-
either. Yeah, one butt, one bit.
Oh my God, Lucas Patrick is the best
I
double
love
team
this play.
scrape off guy.
I just love how Fred Warner thinks he's going to make that tackle, and then Lukey's like, get out of here, you idiot. You ain't making that play.
And Dennis
All
Kelly
right.
did a great job too.
Yeah, he held it up. Well, that's the thing. Dennis Kelly,
He probably won't be back either, right?
somebody was talking about that. Mike Wall was talking about that with Andy Herman today. He was like, against Nick Bosa, who's 6'2", he's like, and quick and short, and you're going to put a 6'7" big lumbering guy out there to block him. And then you're going to put Billy Turner, who's not very good at left tackle, who's not used to playing left tackle, but he's way more used to playing right tackle. Why did you just start Yash at freaking left tackle, where he's played great all year, and start Billy Turner at right tackle, who's maybe he could a little bit. I know, but he's a little bit more agility. You could have maybe stayed somewhat with Nick, because when Kelly got beat by Nick Bosa, he got beat by Nick Bosa. Like when he got beat, it was bad.
Yeah.
Where Billy Turner at least like sort of will play patty cake for a little bit before he gets beat.
Well, Kelly
Now,
did.
I don't know if that touchdown wouldn't have happened because,
Yeah.
Lukey Patrick would have had to block both those two guys. He would have had to do a Tyler Lancaster, block three guys. God, that still drives me nuts. Because I thought the field goal, I thought it was just one guy who was unblocked. And then you watch it back and you're like, there's two guys unblocked.
No adjustment to the overload. You overloaded. Like you need to adjust. Same thing with the punt.
All right.
Last
How long
thing.
are we going? We're going for 5 hours tonight or what?
Last thing. Just remember the quarterback comparison from the game. Quarterback A versus quarterback B. Quarterback A is Jimmy G, who everyone thinks is a bum, and quarterback B is Aaron Rodgers, who everybody thinks is the best. In that game, a playoff game at Lambeau Field, the first downs, Jimmy G had 7 first downs on 10 completions. Does he only have 10 completions? And 7 of them were for first downs? Aaron Rodgers had 20 completions, only 8 first downs. Second half, Aaron Rodgers had 2 more attempts than Garoppolo. Second half, first down throws, so throwing for first downs. Garoppolo had 4, Rodgers only had 2. And Rodgers had 0 on his last drive. His last couple of drives, actually, 0 first down conversions. And Garoppolo had 2 first down conversions on his last attempt with the football to win the game. So you tell me. You don't have to tell me. I just told you. And quick other side note, 4 of Aaron Rodgers' first down passes in this game, passes for first downs, were on his first opening drive of the game.
Yep.
So only 4 the whole rest of the game.
And one of them was the big pass to Aaron Jones.
From your
on a broken
MVP,
play.
from your field tilter difference maker, that's what you got.
I'm going to say something controversial.
But people want him back, huh? Okay. For a bunch of money. For a crap load of money, they want him back.
I think if Jordan Love would have started that playoff game, the Packers would be playing this weekend.
Because they would have run the ball more?
They would have ran the ball more. Jordan
Okay.
Love would have actually also ran. Also,
They
the
would've done play action.
49ers would have maybe blitzed more or did some crazy stuff, and I think there would have been more options for big plays. They would have maybe left single coverage on Devontae a couple times, thinking that Love wouldn't have been able to get the ball there, and maybe he could have. I think it would have totally changed the way the Packers played and the way the 49ers played. But they also could have just lost in just a different way. Maybe given up a couple picks, and maybe
You could
they
have
would
had some
lost-
turnovers.
They
Right.
might have lost 20-17 instead of 13-10. Who knows? But
Yeah.
what I do know is this: Rodgers was not a difference maker in this game. Period. End of story. And when you have a guy who makes $35 million a year, he needs to be a difference maker. I mean, that's all I can say. And Devontae Adams, the most dominant receiver ever. I mean, 9 catches on a million
Dominant
targets.
player. Rodgers
Dominant
ever
player,
played.
yeah. Dominant player. That's right. Most dominant player. Real dominant. He couldn't beat Josh Norman, a guy who came off the bench because a guy got hurt. Couldn't beat him. So dominant. Rodgers believes he's so dominant. He's not even going to look at it. Anybody else on a play, the last play of your 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 11, whatever the hell it was.
Yep, 3rd and 11.
I'm not even going to look at anybody else. I'm just going to Devontae. They can put 3 guys on him. I'm just going to chuck it up there. Devontae's going to make the play because he's the most dominant player he's ever played with. Because he doesn't triple covered. He'll make the play.
Lazard running wide open. Yeah.
What do you say to Lazard after that game?
I don't know. What do you say to anybody?
Lazard,
like the whole team.
We appreciate that you worked hard. We appreciate that you were open on probably, like 10 plays in this game. And Rodgers just didn't look at you. Sorry. Sorry about that. But keep running your route, man. Keep blocking your ass off on every single running play. Right. Keep blocking on those wide receiver screens to Devontae so that he can get 2 yards, with the quick pass. Just keep doing that, Lazard. Keep not getting any targets when you possibly could get a higher contract because you get more targets. But just keep working hard out there so that Devontae and Aaron Rodgers get all the credit. But then if we lose, they're going to say you suck. They're going to say you suck, even though you're wide ass open and Rodgers won't throw you the ball. But you suck, Lazard. Really? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
How do these guys feel? If I was them, and I'm a different, I'm a jerk, so I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even going to run a route. And then the coach would be like, get out there and run your. I'm like, is he going to throw me the damn ball? I would. Like, why can't guys get on Rodgers? Rodgers yells at the game when they miss a block, right? They're supposed to be perfect every single play.
Right.
Rodgers sure as hell isn't perfect every single play.
Nope.
Like, but Lazard gets yelled at. Remember that time when Tunyon missed the one block and Rodgers just let him have it right on the screen? And I'm like, really? Are you perfect at every single play, Mr. Rodgers? I'm pretty sure you're not. But those guys can't bitch at him.
Well, in his mind, he probably is because they didn't do what he thought they were going to do when he changed everything.
Yeah, right. Well, also in his mind, because they don't coach him properly, he just does whatever he wants. So, of course, he thinks he's right because he's just doing whatever the hell he wants.
Which
his
again,
coaches never correct him.
Which again goes back to football's a team game, and everybody has to know what they're supposed to do. And to me, running a play that's called, or at least not adjusting the play that's called. Like if you want to have options for different plays you want to run and you want to check out of something because it's a bad look, I'm fine with that. But don't be like randomly changing the routes and here and there and just kind of coming up with your own crap, because then how are guys supposed to know what they're supposed to do? How are they supposed to know what's going on? I mean, come on. That makes football way too hard. There's way too much thinking. There's way too many variables, way too much room for error. And then you end up with losing in the playoffs. So
how do we talk for an hour or 2 hours and a half? Like, what are we doing?
There is a crap ton of stuff to talk about, and people have some
we're
good
just
comments.
saying the same crap over and over.
Are we?
I don't even know how we do this crap. Like, we are the weirdest guys ever. Like, nobody.
I told you we're the Lions, baby.
What?
We're the Lions.
Oh, I just don't get why. Like,
some people kind of. Not many people like us, but the ones that do really do.
Well, we appreciate anybody who likes us.
They do. You guys are awesome.
You're not going to get the same crap. The 3-minute videos of telling you that this guy's really good. This guy signed a contract. This guy, no. We're going to tell you the truth. We're going to tell you a lot of stuff.
We won't be as long next time around.
Break it down. Yeah, we might.
We probably won't though. I'm not going to work anymore. I'm just going to come around and help you share your videos. So that's
Dude,
it.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, we'll see what happens. We know Nate Hackett's the coach in Denver. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Rodgers decides he's going to do. And then the Packers have an opportunity here, but long off season. Biggest thing is there's still some plays to shed light on. We don't want to hit you all with all of them. Hopefully open some eyes. And the big other takeaway is don't be afraid of change. If that's what it comes to, don't be all sad or afraid or whatever. Don't fear it. It's probably time for a change. I'm tired of losing the playoffs. Let's freaking do something else.
Yeah.
You know? All right. Peace out. Be good. Stay well. Everybody. No show next week. I got a special. My kid's got a musical performance, so unless Ben goes by himself, is that going to happen?
That ain't happening.
All right. So we're bye week next week, and then we'll catch you in a couple weeks.